Right now on 710, we're taking off with 9 hours of live and local LA Sports Talk.
The home of the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
We call it the LAX, LA Sports Mega Block. Of course, powered every day by LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, where change arrives daily. Let's get to it. Time to get in the air. We're taking off, LA.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Travis and Sliwa has clearance right now.
Let's go. All right, we got the whole crew here.
Yeah.
We're mixing in a little bit. Jorge, what's going on? M in the house. Clinton Yates.
Happy Friday, kiddos. What's going
Filling
on?
in for T-Raj. Good to see you.
It's been forever.
When's the last time you guys saw Clinton Yates? I feel like it's been
Where
it's
in
been a
the
long
world
time.
is Clinton Harris Yates?
I feel like it's been a long
I
time.
haven't spent. Okay, so I've slept in my bed for 4 nights in a row for the first time, I think, in 4 weeks. Because of the
What?
baseball playoffs.
That's
yeah,
right,
so I've
that's
been
right.
on the
You were
road.
traveling.
So I went to Arizona for the NLCS.
Yep.
Stayed downtown, which is an interesting experience when you can walk to the ballpark. I think a lot of Dodgers fans don't really understand this part of how things go in a lot of other major league cities where the town is actually what gets excited and not just a parking lot. And I don't say that pejoratively. I mean, it's just a different vibe
San Diego's
entirely.
like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Colorado's like that. DC's like that. A lot of places are like that. New York is obviously like that. But I got to be around a lot of baseball fans for a long time. The series, people can say it was low wattage, whatever. That's fine.
I liked it.
Went back and forth. Went to Dallas, which is also another situation where you're kind of away from everything, but they've got something called Texas Live. If you don't know what that is.
What is Texas Live?
Texas Live is, you know how in some cities there'll be like, sort of like here in LA Live, there's an arena, and then there's like a theater, then there's a bunch of restaurants, and then there's
Maybe
a
the
ballpark,
convention center,
perhaps the
everything, like,
convention center,
built around
perhaps
it.
some statues. Texas, Arlington doesn't have that. It's about a mile between the ballpark and Jerry World.
Okay.
But in between, there's one thing, Texas Live. What is Texas Live?
I've been there.
Texas Live is a 3-story mall full of bars and bars only
that's not
with
bad.
a massive screen that everybody can watch on
Jorge just booked tickets.
that centers in the middle. If they had something like this in Los Angeles, I'd go every weekend. It's dope.
There's
Anyway,
one in Philly. It's fantastic. I've been to Xfinity Live a
Yeah.
bunch of
Same
times. It's right next
concept.
to Lincoln
solid
Financial.
setup. It's like Tom's down here on a million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of vibe it is.
Streamers, bazookas.
Oh,
not
the
really
whole nine.
bazookas,
So
but-
Closed circuit camera inside, so if you're partying, people can look at you partying when you're in the VIP. Even if you're not on
Yes.
TV, you're on the big screen.
So,
All that.
so 3 floors of just bars and
Everything is a
restaurants?
bar. Like there's
amazing.
one, and not to mention all the outdoor stuff too. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is that
That's
like
great. Can you go from I have no idea on this. Can you go from I'm at this restaurant and bar, I'm taking my drink and I'm going because it's all in.
and they have like the country bar,
Oh,
the hip hop
yeah.
bar, the
The one in
rock
Xfinity
spot.
Live has a mechanical bull.
Exactly.
So you always have that.
It's fantastic.
Spent
So
some time
I
on
love
the-
that. It got pretty cold in Dallas. Didn't love that. And it had a situation that it's tough to say at this point that something changed my life, but it did. So I get on the plane. It's 9 o'clock on Wednesday, p.m. 9 o'clock Dallas time, right? And I'm thinking, okay, 3-hour flight. I get there at 9 p.m. I'm tired.
Yep.
I go to sleep in the cab immediately in the Uber, and I just tell the guy the address. I don't even know the name of the place. I get in the car, fall asleep. Sky Harbor Airport's about 20 minutes from anything anyway, so whatever. I'm getting a quick nap in. I wake up, and I was like, am I dreaming? Like, what's going on here? The guy goes, yeah, this is the address. This is where you want to come, right? And I go, yeah, but like, dude, this is not what I expected. He goes, oh, you've never been here before. Sir, we were at the Arizona Biltmore, the location where the NFL owners meetings are held, which is a full-blown resort that we were just staying at for work. And I was like, I'm sorry. 2 weeks ago, I was walking to the ballpark, in downtown Phoenix, just around the corner past a bunch of drunks that are telling me to take my shirt off, old ladies. This time, we're in the most luxurious place
this
I've
was
ever stayed.
Baller.
Beyond baller.
How far from the park?
Maybe 20 minutes. We
Okay.
got rides, but
Yeah.
that's not the point. The point is that this thing is a palatial estate designed by Frank Lloyd Wright that the richest of the rich ding-dong NFL owners like to hang out at. I was not familiar with the existence of this place.
Did they have chicken tenders?
Probably
That's a good
not.
question.
They probably
Okay.
would have been $40.
Otherwise I wouldn't stay there.
Probably would have been $40 either way.
That's the first thing I would have ordered.
Bro, I get there, and I'm like, okay, lobby that looks like a massive art gallery is what I was trying to say. Like, down to the art on the walls, down to the design. I'm going nuts. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're staying here.
How many nights were you there?
And also,
4.
did it feel haunted at all?
No,
Okay.
didn't feel haunted.
It's giving
didn't feel
haunted in my
Not
imagination.
haunted,
4
not
nights?
not slavey, not any of that.
Yeah.
It was just nice and big.
That's
And we're
incredible.
there for a while. So I go to the front desk. I go, listen, lady, I did not know that I was in for this. She goes, oh,
you
well, let
guys
me
do
show
chicken
you.
tenders?
Let me show you how to get to your joint. Pulls out a map and draws with a marker on a paper map how to get to the room. It took me 10 minutes because I didn't know where to go on this college campus-sized resort thing. I was stunned. I go to the room. I'm like, okay, I'm here. This is ridiculous.
Put your robe on
I can't-
immediately
Oh,
and
instant
tell
robe.
ESPN that
Instant robe.
I'm here.
And I go back out to see the gang because the gang is all out by the big center, whatever, bar situation. That, again, is one of the most luxurious things I've ever seen. It looked like where they shoot some sort of a movie that I would never be in. They go, oh, you didn't? They go, are you staying on the ground floor? I'm like, yeah. They go, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And like, you didn't notice anything? I'm like, no. They go back to your room. So I go back to my room and I'm like, oh, I didn't open my blinds. I open my blinds. There's another pool for this building, a separate side private pool
Jorge,
with
this is good living right
with
here,
its
bro.
own bar, and I've got my own fire pit and side situation
God.
right in front of my room that
Amazing.
only I could sit in and only I could use. I was like, what's going on here? It was ridiculous. I got up in the morning. Guys are driving around bikes with platforms on the front with biscotti and all sorts of coffee on them because that's how they deliver room service, Slee, because the place is that big.
Okay, so
Damn.
what did you order? What food did you eat?
I ate. It's
good living.
I ate. Yeah, it was great. It was really. I don't even remember. It was a lot of champagne after the games. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, well, I'm here. I'm not going to sit up here and be drinking Bud Lights while I'm,
Well, no, you might as well use this as like a real vacation.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like a resort
effectively
as a
what
real
it was.
vacation.
I mean, because when you got to the ballpark, you're in a completely different location. I
What
was
a-
like, I won't be working when I'm at this resort.
What
I will
a
get everything done
shocker.
off-site.
What a shocker the NFL owners stay there.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that.
I couldn't believe
thought the NFL owners were like at the courtyard. You know something? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's some
exactly.
Marriott points. They
Well,
have to. You
it
gotta
was
stack
it
them up.
was
points,
so
yeah.
nice that I felt almost uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and it was very much the other half kind of thing. So when I had to get my nails done to be emo Jimmy Butler for Halloween,
Of course.
I didn't have to go anywhere. I just went to the salon on site. It was unbelievable. I was like, this is crazy. So
Just living a good life over there.
I've been all over the place, but if you ever need to go and do something nice in
Yeah.
the Phoenix area and you got a little, and by a little I mean a lot of change, Arizona Biltmore, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
What's the nicest place that you've ever stayed at, Al? Tokyo?
You mean like a hotel? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hotel
nicest
resort?
hotel.
I'm trying to think here. One time we stayed, it was for a wedding out in Cancun, I want to say. And it was at one of those resorts where everyone is staying at the resort.
Right.
And it wasn't a big wedding, so they did it right. It's you didn't have to go anywhere. Like you literally didn't have to do anything. Anything you needed was there at the resort. All the different restaurants, everything was included. Liquor's included, all that stuff. The pools are amazing.
Yeah.
All these, okay, that's an adult pool, that's a kid's pool, that's this. But the place was just absolutely beautiful on the water. That's the
Yeah.
thing I think of. That's
If I had
just
a
probably the
pool,
nicest.
like like one of those infinity pools attached to my room, I'd never leave my room.
It
I
was
would just stare out at whatever the
yeah,
view
why
is.
would you go anywhere?
Because in Love Is Blind, they go to usually like Mexico on their like little honeymoon vacation after they get engaged, which is insane. But they always have a little hot tub, infinity pool attached
Yeah.
to their room. Yeah, would never leave.
I hadn't thought of that. This place was reality show level quality, almost exceeding it. Where they'd be like, I don't want you drunks screwing up my legacy property. I guess every U.S. president has stayed there.
Jeez.
Yeah,
The
I don't think
Suns-
the presidents and owners
Right.
are going to rub elbows with the reality stars.
The Jazz were there when we got there.
Okay.
The Spurs were there by the time we left. And whoever was playing some other team was there. I think an NHL team passing through to somewhere else. Literally almost bumped in the
John
pop.
must have been
I was
there.
just going to say, I
Almost
wonder if
bumped in the pop
if the Lakers
physically.
stay there as well.
They
and
might. They probably
John
do.
And I'm sure Michael have stayed there before.
Glorious
So
location.
This is something interesting because I've almost been working with Trav now on the show for about 3 years.
Okay.
And I see Trav always writing things down. I don't know what the hell he's writing. But during the show, he's like, yeah, I got that. And he starts writing some
Yeah.
stuff down.
Yeah.
Trev actually
leave it?
forgot his.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
So this is
Oh,
basically
no.
like his Bible.
This is like
This
leaving
is
your
everything.
locker open
like
in
I've
high school.
seen him. I've come in here
Wait, what
before.
did he write? Ribs the other day?
Playbook.
He wrote ribs.
Okay, so I've seen him before. Like, look at this, and there's times like I see him like kind of his head down, moment of silence. I've seen him do the sign of the cross while he's looking
Yeah.
at this. I don't know what's in here. I have no
Yeah.
idea what's in here. So I'm looking at it right now. I think you've told me this that. There's a lot of like the notes that you take.
Yeah,
right?
I
And
mean,
the notes
if
that
you read mine, it's also weird.
you have no idea.
Are
What's
your notes
happening
for
here.
you or are your
The notes are for me.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, for example, if we talked about pretzels in our meeting, I write down pretzels, but so that it will jog my memory.
Got it. Okay.
I see Ice Cube on here. What else do I see?
Wow,
on
this
here?
is. I feel like this is a violation of his privacy.
Wait, is it
Well,
ice cube
I
or is
won't-
it an ice cube?
Right.
Because
What are we
that's the
talking about?
difference.
We're talking about glaçon, as we say in
Oh,
French, or we're talking about O'Shea Jackson
No,
Sr.
100%. It's an ice cube from the refrigerator or from the freezer. You want to know why? Because he has a thing where when he's filling up his mug or whatever he has with ice, there's always one or two that fall off. And what a regular human being would do in an office is pick up that ice cube and put it in the sink.
He lets it melt.
Trav kicks it under the
That's
dishwasher.
what everybody does.
No,
I pick it up.
that's, Yeah,
That's what I do.
I'm in the
That's
pick it
what
up
I do.
squad.
Well,
Once
and-
I got to a point where I had to start cleaning my own home, I stopped kicking things under the dishwasher.
Well, and then Trav even does it to where when I'm in the kitchen with him, he'll drop one and then he'll look at me
See
and go,
what you're gonna do.
Slee, and then he kicks it
Sweep
under.
the
So it's
leg.
not, he's clearly not hiding it or anything
Sweep
like
the
that.
leg.
What we
Do
should
it.
do through the show is I think
what
you
is on
should
here?
read a word and then
I
we have to
can't- I
try to
can't-
work back
Yeah.
what that story
I
was
like
that he
that.
was telling us about.
I like
good
that
idea.
move right there.
Yeah.
I got a big.
It's like an Inception bit.
They're gonna know what I'm talking about. You won't know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna fill you in. Big weekend this weekend. Tomorrow night's a big night down in San Diego, California.
Yeah?
Snapdragon
Heyo.
Stadium.
He's
We
got the voice
big-
on. You heard that voice?
big
That's
one
the
has to
promo
be
voice.
tomorrow.
That was
Big
an
one.
Sliwa promo voice right
Okay,
there.
listen.
Go Eagles.
Mid-segment.
Go Eagles. Look, this is them. There's San Diego, where I went to high school is Granite Hills High School.
Okay.
Okay. So somebody that I've known for years, he's probably about 6-7 years younger than me. I used to actually coach him in rec ball.
Sure. Everything
And
goes back to Kennedy Rec
Every
Center. Everything. Come
man,
on.
this is
Listen,
like,
it's
if
your
I-
boy.
If I
I'm
can
a
embrace you
professional,
right here,
okay?
I would. Okay,
We know.
everything does go back to Kennedy Recreation Center. So at Kennedy Rec, used to coach him, but my best friend, it's his first cousin.
Okay.
Takes over Granite Hills, coaching there, high school football years ago, maybe 7-8 years ago, whatever it was. They go from division, you know how the division 4, 3, 2, they just keep winning. Last year, Division 2, win CIF in San Diego, win Southern California, and then win the state in Division 2.
Impressive.
My man is coaching.
Right.
He's doing work.
This is his gig.
Doing work. This year, and I've already kind of went through some of their games, but this year, 11-0. They're now in open division. Open division, there's only 4 teams in San Diego County in
I've
open
heard this has been
division.
kind of chaotic. Not that we're going to get into deep high school football chalk talk in
I'm
California,
learning too
but
as I
okay,
go.
I was like,
And I think LA's got 10 schools in open division. I could be wrong, but
sure.
it's different in LA.
It's
just a much
different
bigger.
now than it was very recently.
So San Diego, you got 4 teams in open division. Last week, Granite beat Carlsbad at Carlsbad. It was number 2 versus number 3.
Carlsbad, home of the.
No idea.
Got to know that,
Yeah,
Slade.
I have no idea.
Don't even know the
I'm not-
opponent's
I'm not
name?
sure.
Come
No,
on.
no, no.
Okay.
the guess.
Maybe
The
Lancers. I
Devils.
think it could be
Devils,
Could be Lancers. Now that I think about it.
Sure.
So Granite beats Carlsbad at Carlsbad. How did they beat them? In overtime. Decide that Carlsbad gets the ball first. By the way, number 1 quarterback in the country going to Alabama is playing at Carlsbad.
Okay.
Carlsbad scores first in overtime. They kick the extra point. Granite scores and says, we're going for 2. They win the game.
Ball
way.
game. Walk me
game.
off.
Walk me off.
God,
They
I
got
love
up.
that. That is how you're supposed to play high school football.
Amazing.
Stop wasting people's time. Line up, kick somebody in the teeth, and win a football game.
So
I love
you-
that.
You've been
It's
playing.
what Arizona should have done against USC.
Correct.
You're 100%
Absolutely
right.
correct. There
I
have been
think we were
multiple
all-
scenarios this season in which that should have happened.
I think
for
we're all
various teams.
especially when you're not supposed to win the game.
Yeah,
too.
you're
It's
on the road.
Go for
Screw
2.
it.
So tomorrow will be Lincoln, who beat Helix in overtime as well.
Okay.
So it'll be Lincoln versus Granite at Snapdragon Stadium. This is the San Diego State
Yeah.
Stadium for the Open Division CIF Championship. We got to get down there tomorrow at 7. So I'm ready to go.
So I have many questions.
Yeah.
Many questions.
Yeah.
This is very exciting.
And maybe
by
we
the
should
way.
do those questions on the other side.
Excellent point.
I love that you're excited. That makes me feel good that you're excited. We got a lot of Lakers stuff to get into. A little bit later, we're going to do a little SoCal baseball conversation. So we got a lot of stuff to get into. Stay with us. Clinton Yates in for Travis Rogers. Ask Yates coming up at 10:45. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Wins. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free! Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
It's Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa.
Day has the same person dropped off food at your house twice in one day? I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
All right, T-Raj with the day off. Ask Yates coming up at 10:45, so make sure to send those in. I put out a tweet. You could hit us all up on Twitter, and we'll get that going at 10:45. You had some follow-up questions to
Yes.
the Granite Hills Eagles versus Lincoln tomorrow. What are some of the questions?
Multifold. Two of them have to do with the team. 2 of them have to do with you.
Sure.
Number 1.
Yep.
Is this going to be the largest venue that any of the players from the Granite Hills Eagles have ever played football in?
It will
Most likely?
It will be most likely, but they used to do this. Obviously, doesn't exist anymore. Qualcomm back in the day used to be where they did some of these
these big state games.
This is it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're playing for everything. But at least these students, definitely the biggest that they've played in.
Okay.
And it's not like it's a crazy. It's about 30,000 seat is the.
That's what I was
stadium.
saying. That's actually a nice size. You don't want to be in a full 50,000 banger because then you
Yeah.
feel like an idiot and you're just walking around. It's like having a middle school dance at Hello, the Arizona Biltmore. But so the second question is, are they favored? Is there any way to know that? Like
Lincoln's favored.
Lincoln's favored. Okay, so there's an underdog element here.
Yeah, I think Lincoln is. I want to say, might be 8 in the state.
Oh.
So they're definitely expected to win. They were number 1 in San Diego County, and Granite was number 3 in San Diego County.
Okay, now getting to you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the gear situation?
Great question.
What is the gear? Are you breaking out the old stuff, the new stuff? Are we going
I
Al
see what
Bundy
you're saying.
Polk
Yeah.
High? What's the situation for how we're going to approach this from a class ring, varsity jacket, breaking out the old school Kennedy Rec Center T-shirt? Who knows? What happens?
Okay. This, Yates, is why attention to detail, you're so much better than that.
I try.
Because I literally have not given that 1 second of thought up to this point.
I was gonna go like that.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to wear an
There's
ESPN
a very
710 shirt.
good
there.
chance that I could very easily go like that. Now, the colors for Granite is kind of a dark blue. There's some light blue and a gray.
That's a good look.
Those are the
Granite,
colors,
that's
right?
that's a solid, yeah.
And I would have to look. So I'll go to my parents' house tomorrow. I don't even know what I have in there. I might have this like Granite Hills Eagles basketball jacket from when I was in 9th grade.
That would be tight.
That
would be tight.
By the way, I don't think it's cool at all.
So it's not like a retro cool like thrifty
I don't
thing,
know.
or is it like too tight?
It
And
might
kind
be, it might be too tight. And they'd be like, Al, what are you doing?
Right,
You know,
okay,
like
but
a
there's
tank top that
two-
you wore in high school.
There's
so it's
two
just
ways
really
to
tight.
do this. There's the
I'm wearing
ironic
my
way.
Granite Hills High School jersey.
There's the ironic way, and then there's the chill way.
Yeah.
You know, there's the I'm a big man on campus, look at my varsity jacket. But then there's also just the I can't believe we're doing this. Of course I'm wearing the one piece of high school gear I have.
So there's a really cool.
Do you think they would sell? And that's
Yeah.
If they're
sell
selling
it.
merch there,
You're bringing me something back if they sell
also,
merch.
Slee,
I'm ready
we
to get a
definitely know
Granite
that
Hills
you're
high
someone who
school sweater.
buys merch outside of a stadium because you bought the leather jacket from the random guy in the parking lot.
I've heard that
and
story.
you
I've
bought
heard
the
that story.
Raiders chain. And everything.
It broke
you're
right away.
a
15 bucks,
stadium
yeah.
merch guy.
I'm supporting the local businesses outside.
Sure, no
$10
matter the
t-shirt.
quality. But I have a old my high school state swimming like fleece sweater that is actually just like timeless and cool. It's like
That's
stitched
awesome.
in. It says
Yeah.
like 2013 state champ team, whatever.
That's
You
cool.
know, it's all that stuff is kind of cool.
Here's
do
how
a
you
lot of
combine
merch.
these.
Yeah, they
Here's how you
gotta sell
combine
merch
these.
there.
You go find that jacket, and Lady Slee wears it to the game. That's the actual move
the
right
gal on
there.
my arm.
That's the actual move
That's a
right
good
there.
idea right there.
Flex that out. That's
Good idea.
perfect situation because you're representing. She doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah.
You can do your colors, and then everything is covered.
So is
Okay.
Lady Slee coming as well?
She's actually not coming. She does not have.
Oh,
She does not have
Look,
interest in
I
that.
saw
Yeah.
the look. I was like,
I'm going to be there with a couple high school.
Couple of
buddies.
the bros,
Yeah, a
right?
couple high school
Throwing them
buddies.
back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, very
IPA
well.
guy gonna be there.
IPA guy is going to be
is
there.
there alcohol being sold at Snapdragon?
Oh, definitely. Oh,
Okay.
Unless there's
'Cause it could be
something
high school
different.
that you're not
Unless
allowed
there's something different because it's a high school.
I'm guessing
but I'm
there's something
assuming
different because it's a high school game.
Yeah, but it's all parents and everything else.
Yeah, maybe you could be right.
But you
Yeah, I
should
don't know.
either way tailgate,
Well,
get rowdy,
here's
fall into tables, and then for Granite
This is
Hills
what we
High
need.
School.
This girl
Right.
wants a Buffalo Bills tailgate.
Yes, that's
She wants a
exactly
Bills
what
tailgate.
this girl. How about everybody in this room wants
Yeah,
that?
it's true.
You know,
That's true. And I will say this at that stadium specifically, and you've seen this because a lot more venues are starting to do it. Good local beers.
Yeah,
like there's
solid
a
setups.
lot that feel so.
But
so
yeah, if
good.
anybody's going to the Granite Hill game, call in. And also, if you
Get
have
in there.
like things that he needs to do, things that he should prepare for this high school football game, tweet at us, call us in.
Yeah, I'm
that's
gonna go
tonight.
back-
Tonight.
Tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
night.
Okay.
night.
All right.
Yeah.
See, Friday and Saturday, it's a different vibe. Friday, for me, is a completely different
Friday
vibe.
Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights is a
Yeah.
totally different setup because then people are coming off of school and coming off of work, so you're already a little charged up and you got to let it out. Saturday, you got a little bit more time to ease into it. I can see why Lady Slee doesn't want to go on a Saturday.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be it'll be a little bit different.
Saturday, different matter. Friday, okay. You know.
Okay, so a couple things I want to get into. First off, the Arizona Biltmore. I just looked it up. They're still running a promo video. There's drones everywhere.
Baller.
Yeah, that's
Baller.
Looks like a nice spot. Lakers got a game tonight. They're at Portland. In-season tournament number 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. I haven't got a chance to get your opinion. There's so many things that we haven't got a chance to talk about or get your opinion on. What have you thought so far? Before I get into Anthony Davis, there's a good chance he's supposed to be playing tonight. We'll talk about AD. There's plenty of stuff. Zach LaVine conversation still coming up. What have been your initial thoughts of the in-season, the concept of the in-season tournament?
Letter grade, I'd say right now is in the B- territory, and that is what I'm averaging based on what I've seen of opinions. It's not my personal one. Number one, I love the courts. Sorry, a design change that is actually reasonable within the context of basketball that looks a little forward thinking simply from a design standpoint. Whether or not you like each one individually or not is not the point.
Do you love migraines?
No, it doesn't bother me.
Lakers, Suns, I had a migraine.
Yeah, there's some that are busier than others, but my point is that when it comes down to redesigning what playing surfaces look like, that's really hard to do without totally messing with the continuity of the game. I actually think it still looks like a basketball court. It just looks like a different basketball court.
Brooklyn's the first one that did something different.
Cool to me.
Cool
to me.
And theirs wasn't that loud. It was that like the gray, right?
So
it was
how
like
do you feel about Oregon men's college and women's college basketball?
Not
sports?
good because that's a different
it messes
thing.
With the
if we want to
barriers.
get into this design factor, trees everywhere is a different thing than here's a lane in the middle with some vectors going this way or that.
Okay,
the uniforms are worse than the courts to me.
So let's put
that aside. Yeah.
That aside.
Okay.
The actual
There's
tournament.
That.
No, that's the most important thing.
Right. You know that.
You're right.
Now, here's the thing. Everybody has tried to liken it to the way that European soccer teams do mid-season side tournaments and leagues. I think that what people don't understand about what the purposes of those are is that you can expand your rosters. You can play entirely different people that just happen to be in your club for those tournaments, and that's in fact what they're for. So when guys like Dame Lillard come back and say, hey, there's a lot of guys on this team that could use that $500K or whatever the amount of money is that they're getting for it, I sort of thought, well, dang. If that was what the goal was to begin with, maybe you should have just made this a tournament in which, the big guys don't play. No, it doesn't count towards your regular season record. Some of these load management guys can rest, and we can watch some guys perhaps you're not that familiar with who aren't G League guys, but NBA guys play a little tournament that can, in fact, help them develop mid-season. I'd probably watch it. Let's say – so like in the Olympics for soccer, you can pick U23, you can pick one star. Like if you said each team can pick one guy who was a former All-Star, one.
Okay.
And then the rest of your roster can go, it would be interesting at the least. But that's a situation where you'd have to take it out of the context of the NBA regular season. Again, as a person that thinks that the NBA regular season could shorten just by design for the sake of all this rest and load management we talk about, now that I've understood that the reason the veterans like it is because some of the younger guys might be getting a little extra cash, well, then I'd rather watch them play basketball anyway. At that point, if it's a goofy side tournament and it doesn't actually count, there's pluses and there's minuses. And so I'm kind of interested in to see how this develops as much as what it means right now, because it still feels like we're very much in the
we're all trying to figure
planning phases of what it's going to eventually be. So it doesn't bother me.
That's actually a good way to put it, because I don't think the way it is today will necessarily be the same in a year from now or 3 years from now. I'm sure there will be tweaks. Okay, let's talk about Anthony Davis when we come back. AD is probable to play. LeBron is listed as questionable. How important, I'm going to use the last game as an example for the Lakers. I know you had some interesting thoughts on Anthony Davis as a whole. We'll get into that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
It's a feel-good Friday, and guess what?
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off. 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Linz. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, Give me Laker tickets.
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free! Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
But do you think it's the right move? Do you think it's the right strategy?
No.
Live from LA Live on 710 ESPN.
All right, guys, what is playing right now is the Fairy Tale of Philadelphia, which is Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce singing on the Eagles' Christmas album they release every year with the offensive lineman.
If you haven't seen the video of this,
Featuring
it's
Travis Kelce.
amazing.
And guess what? It is topping the charts on Apple Music right now. So even though I hate Apple Music, but I like Travis Kelce. But
Love it.
what's funny is this week,
Okay.
usually what happens is that when someone goes back through old tweets, things that are unsavory pop up. And you're like, oh, that changes my opinion
Remember
about
what
XYZ
this person said 10
Resurface
years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
word of the day
Yeah.
when that happens.
Yeah.
So Swifties decided to go back into Travis Kelce's old tweets, and they were surprised that they did not find anything unsavory. They honestly found that he's just a lovely little himbo that is just living his best
So
life.
they rolled up their sleeves and
Yeah.
said, "Oh no, you
Let's go
can't
back
be
to
this
2010,
perfect of a
guys."
guy. Let's
To
find
quote,
something."
to quote our great friend Mina Kimes, hold on, let me find this tweet. Basically, she said, "This man has gone through the most rigorous background check in global history,
Swift BI,
and passed with flying colors."
Yes, exactly. We survived the Great War, one of her songs. Okay, so I thought it'd be funny.
Okay.
I'm going to read you one example of one of his tweets. Okay, so one of his tweets says, I just gave a squirrel a piece of bread and it straight smashed all of it. I had no idea they ate bread like that. Haha, hashtag crazy. So that is a actual tweet from tight end Travis Kelce, but this was back in 2011, okay?
So not exactly a political
a
stance.
scholar.
No,
just a
college kid,
squirrel.
a college
I like
kid
it.
tweet.
I like it.
So I'm going to, I thought it'd be funny if I went back at my old Facebook posts and just try to read them off and have you guys guess whether it was Travis Kelce that said this or if it was
Or if you
me
said it.
that said
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Okay,
This is I like it.
This
So
is are we starting now?
I'm starting now, okay?
Okay.
I'm starting with this one. So, the moon looks crazy tonight, ... I'm going to chill here for a little and just visualize my success and vibe to the scenery.
I already know this one.
I know this.
All right.
One. Yeah. I know this one.
Al?
Let me tell you why I know this one.
Okay.
Because of the ... I think you've said in the past how much you hate the ...
Sure.
So I'm going to go Travis Kelce on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we guessing? Jorge,
Yes.
you go.
I'm going to go Kelsey as well.
Okay. Now, I know it's Kelce, but the funniest part about this is how he misspells scenery.
He spells it SCENARY.
Like canary. You know what I mean?
I love this guy.
I never had any
He's a
issues
himbo.
with Kelce, but I like him even more now after those last 2 tweets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read another one. This
Okay.
one says...
Let's get one more in here.
Yeah.
I think that coaches of bad teams should not criticize the defense of another team that shut them out, but that's just me. ...
I think she's lying about the ...
I'm going Emily.
And I'm going to say Emily. I think you threw that
I'm
on
going Emily.
as a late attempt
I've seen Em
to shake us from the set.
tweet on Sunday football games, so I'm going Emily on this
That's
one.
like when your foot comes down right before the shot's supposed to go up. You're like, no, I'm still in the air. I'm still in the air.
Jorge?
Yeah, it's got to be you. 100%.
Yeah, it's me. I also tagged Chantilly in this because it was the Chantilly soccer team that I was talking about. Because apparently they're talking crap about me.
Chantilly, Virginia. That's hilarious.
If you have more of those,
I'm gonna sprinkle
those
them
in.
through the day.
Yeah, let's
Nice.
sprinkle them in.
Nice.
That's pretty funny.
That's good.
She tried throwing us off.
I can recognize the pitch. You know
You
what I'm
didn't
saying?
fall for
Gotta
it.
find it off the release point.
You were waiting. Okay, we're talking about Anthony Davis. Lakers got the Blazers tonight. Kind of a... I think this actually says a lot about your team. I hate this stat. They're 1-5 on the road. Good teams find ways to win on the road.
Yeah.
And look, you could turn it back the other way and say, well, they're 5-1 at home. I get that. I understand it. But there are a lot of good teams out there that it doesn't necessarily matter. We can go to your home floor and we could go handle business. I know early on the season, 12 games in. Last game the Lakers played, they take on Sacramento. The conversation's about Anthony Davis. Hey, is AD healthy? Okay, well, let's put it this way. If he's not healthy, don't play him 35 minutes then. If you think that maybe it's going to have some effect, this is a back-to-back game that he's playing, maybe it's going to have some effect. Sabonis in the first quarter came out and went at Anthony Davis. AD had 9 and 9. There aren't too many games where Anthony Davis has 9 and 9.
Single, double, single, what do they
And
call it?
Sabonis was on the other side just doing work.
Cooking.
So he's listed as probable, which means he's most likely going to play. LeBron is listed as questionable. Usually when Anthony Davis has a presser after the game and says, I played like you know what, I wasn't good tonight, I got no excuses. Usually what happens is AD follows it up with a good game. And that's not, so far this year they've played 12 games. Anthony Davis had a really bad game against the Denver Nuggets because of that second half. He had a really bad game against the Sacramento Kings. So what's his average? Once every 5-6 games he has a game, which kind of goes to what Anthony Davis has been. I'm interested tonight to see AD go, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a great game, but I'm just going to go back to this. If he's not healthy, I don't need to see Anthony Davis trying to tough it out in November. I need to see Anthony Davis trying to tough it out in April and in May. I'm not as concerned right now, so I think that's one thing to watch tonight.
Here's the catch-22 with that, is that you're right. And I've said this before. I've said this on TV. I've said this in a million places. This Lakers team is not a regular season team. They're not built for that. This team is a team that's built to win in the playoffs. When this squad can match up against one team and figure them out a little better each game with the leadership of a guy like a LeBron and with the smarts of a more veteran team, that helps them. Night to night, city to city, it's a far more different task and a far more difficult one for the level of talent on this roster. And so the reason I bring that up is because what it has to do with AD is, I'm not going to say that almost like a baseball team, I'd be playing him matchup to matchup, but it doesn't matter to me why he's not playing if he's not on the court at this stage of his career and at this stage of the contract. Because if you're trying to maximize what you get out of him, constantly referring to, well, it could be this if he was healthy, or, oh, he was just bumped, whatever. You know what I mean? Figure out what the system is so that he can get consistent play, which I think is as important as high-level play because, again, you're playing for the trophy specifically by how your team has shown it can have success in the most recent roster iteration and how you've proceeded to build it this season. So, okay, if 85% AD is out on the floor for 20 minutes, does that give you the same as 100% AD for 30 minutes, for 20, like this is what the Lakers have to figure out is that I don't feel that Lakers fans should be forced to deal day to day with, well, maybe he was 100% this day, maybe he was 100% that day. Like, okay, whatever. Your job is to play basketball. And I'm not saying that I don't think he's tough or that he's not handling it well. I just think there's just too many day-to-day questions that ultimately don't affect anything other than effectiveness and productivity. We need to get to the point where what is the most effective combination for Anthony Davis night in and night out for the Los Angeles Lakers? And I don't think they figured that out yet from a rotation, a minutes, or what obviously is a load management, I hate to say it, standpoint.
Typically for AD, if the game against the Kings threw me off in the sense of this. He clearly did not look like himself. There was some chatter. Maybe something happened in the first quarter. He missed a game a week ago, whatever it was, with his hip. Got a strain in his hip, spasm, whatever it was. You can't have 9 and 9 and tell me that, no, AD's fine.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't, right? Like, that's just go look at his regular stats. And I'm not telling you that Anthony Davis is perfect every night. But there's a lot of nights Anthony Davis is really, really good. He dominates one side of the floor. The night before he had 6 block shots. Anthony Davis, that side of it, I get it. I think the question that you're proposing is, I'm not 100% sure they know when to put AD in, when to take AD out, how much to play him. Is he 100% of the time? I think what you said about Lakers are playing for the postseason, not the regular season, I agree. There's only a few teams out there. I don't think Denver has to have home court. I don't think a veteran team like the Golden State Warriors, they can win a tough game on the road. Right. The Lakers proved last year they actually.
That's the value of veteran leadership.
Yeah, you don't have to have home court. Yeah. Now I'm not discrediting the regular season, because what you also don't want is to be in another play-in tournament game, and you're fighting for your life just to to get in. I'm not saying that the regular season doesn't matter, but what's more important than one game here, one game there, I just want to see if Anthony Davis is in, the best version of him. Because if you're playing Anthony Davis, you said 85%.
Okay.
I think it was less than that, because 85% of AD is not 9 and 9. Mm-hmm. So and even in the fourth quarter, Travis and I were talking about this yesterday, and we were trying to figure it out. Lakers went into fourth down over 20 points. And
that game was a non-game.
And they ended up playing 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, LeBron and Anthony Davis. And they made a little bit of a comeback.
Kind of gassed out at the end there.
But why? Like that's something that I have a difficult time comprehending. You're not winning a game down 20-plus against a playoff team. Why are you – and the guy already looks like he's not 100%. What are you grinding him out for in the game in November?
I'll from an analyst standpoint, I'm going to say that that's the place where they were actually trying to figure something out. Mm-hmm. What do you actually look like? What can you actually do? Because I think the problem with this is, again, the mixed messages of, oh, no, he's not hurt, but there's 9 and 9. Oh, no, he sat, but no, it's just a tweak. Well, perhaps we could be more honest. And by we, I mean everybody involved, people watching the team, people covering the team, people on the team, and say, we don't know if Davis is ever getting back to 100%. That's not a realistic scenario for an in-season situation. He's going to be dinged here and there. This is kind of who he is. Now, does that reflect poorly on the kind of investment you made upon him for the future? Perhaps. But the reality is that you can't say, oh, one night, oh, yeah, guess what? Crap game. He was dinged. And then another night be like, oh, yeah, no, just a bad night. Like, at some point, you have to be honest for the sake of your own self-evaluation during the midseason. I feel like that's where the problem comes. It's not just in performance. It's what are we actually looking at here? Because I'm willing to admit you're not seeing 100% AD for the rest of the season. Okay, guys have done that before. Mm-hmm. It's happened. If you're not going to be able to play at 100%, what can you do? Mm-hmm. That's the question the Lakers have to figure out, because at this rate, constantly sending out different missives from a communication standpoint, it just feels like somebody is not lying, but they don't want to be real about what's actually happening with one of the most important players on the roster.
And ultimately, his numbers are going to tell you how he's doing.
Yeah,
he only took 9 shots. 3 or 4 of those were in the fourth. That stat line, the 9 and 9,
that's
actually looked better.
That's really upsetting.
But it actually looked better than it really was.
Yeah.
It's because he played 10 more minutes in the fourth
quarter
should have,
and had
probably.
No
choice.
Right.
Okay, coming up at 11, the Zach LaVine chatter keeps getting more and more noise.
A lot of people hitting me up about this guy.
Jovan Buha had a good article in The Athletic about what the Bulls are going to do, and that there's actually some real chatter around the Lakers. Should the Lakers make a move? Is Zach LaVine the right guy? Life after LeBron, is the LaVine and Anthony Davis? How would you feel about that? We'll get into some of that stuff coming up at 11. But coming up next, Ask Yates. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN. All right, introducing Pizza Hut's new $7 deal lovers menu. How about this? You can enjoy pizza, pasta, wings, sides, desserts, and more. And it's all starting at just $7 each. You don't have to choose between a good taste and a good value with Pizza Hut's $7 deal lovers menu. Again, it's all starting at $7 each. They've been bringing in pizza here, last couple of months. I feel like once a week we're having pizza. It's fantastic. It's delicious. There's great pricing there, and it's not just pizza, pasta, wings, and so much more. Make sure you check out that Deal Lovers menu. Product availability, prices, and participation vary.
Coming up today.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Wins. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Is presented by our friends at Harrah's Resort SoCal. Find your funner state of mind with a visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal. Voted best resort in funner California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Learn more at harrahssocal.com. Let's get to it. Ask Slee right now.
All right, Yates in the house. So Ask Yates today on this fantastic Friday. I'm going to start it off. We're going to do a little round table here. Everyone's going to throw one your way.
It's called going around the horn, Sliwa. Get with it,
what?
Playboy. Come on.
Crazy.
We're going to go
It's
with...
Friday.
That's Travis. He's got a great, beautiful voice.
Have you seen that human recently, by the way?
Rebecca Black?
Yes.
She looks great.
Correct. Moving right along.
I have not seen it.
That's all I had to say about that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we played a music video last time. We saw the music video.
Right. Okay.
Daniel Tapia starts it off. More annoying person to sit next to on Thanksgiving. The fighting couple, the one-upper to every story, or the guy that has to air grievances with everyone.
Okay,
we've had some iterations of this before.
Now,
but
okay.
Okay,
Now,
what about the uncle that's also too politically inclined?
right, there's the
Let's add
Archie
that
Bunker
one. Yeah,
factor.
let's add that
Now,
one.
for me,
Okay.
and this is very specific to me specifically, it's
Perfect.
because I do a very forward-facing job. So people can see me. People know what I think about things. So the one-upper guy is a far more frequent person that I run into. And contrary to popular belief, just because I run my mouth a lot on air, I don't do a whole lot of talking about like sports and stuff in my regular life. Like I don't do that. My family and my friends, I spend my time with them as I do in my life, and that's that. But sometimes when you get around the guy
I went to Cal.
wants to talk, you're kind of like, oh, here we go. We're going to turn this dinner into an episode of friggin' PTI or whatever. And like you say one thing and they got to argue with you about what they thought about some pick or some guy who was going to pan out who went to their high school and all. That person I cannot deal with.
But you do understand, looking at it from their perspective, they're really excited to talk to you about sports.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like talking to me about it is one thing. Talking to everybody as if everybody cares because I'm not cornering myself in a conversation like that. If we're in a cab, sure. That's one thing. Cab driver wants to go on and on about some game in 1976 that he was at. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But if I'm trying to get my late great Aunt Nell some mashed potatoes and some gravy, I don't want to have to listen to a convo about whatever. And I'm only using her as an example because I miss her.
So
but
that's
general,
the most annoying.
I spend my time at family functions helping out the old people who can't do for themselves. I don't spend it talking yang about what I do for my job.
I like it. Jorge, what do you got there?
All right, I got this from 805 Raider. Yo, Yates, Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster? Which one is more likely to be real and why?
This is an easy one. And to, sometimes you guys like it when I get into the academia part of things, but one of the interesting things about cartography in terms of history, the making of maps, for those who don't know what cartography is that if you go back centuries and look at the different maps that involve the seas and the different continents of different civilizations and generations that would have never been able to see each other, they all have dragons, and they were all in the sea, which leads me to believe that through whatever sort of karmic existence of beings, Loch Ness Monster are way more likely to be real than a Bigfoot. A Bigfoot, probably some hairy dude who got lost in the woods.
The
And also it
chances
could
of
be
us
that-
seeing,
Yeah.
because, I like that.
I have a feeling that even with that too, it's like we have evidence that there are dinosaurs that were on the Earth. Maybe it's like leftover dinosaurs that people thought were dragons. But I have heard that though. That,
People
Every
who had
single,
no reason to know each
myth
other
has
invented
it.
dragons on their own.
Exactly.
That leads me to believe that that's much closer to being real than, Harry and the Hendersons or whatever.
Dragon. Okay. So this is from Daniel Tapia.
I know that is.
Yeah. This is from Daniel Tapia, and it says what is the oddest snack that you've ever seen someone sneak into the club?
In the club?
Okay, because there was a girl that was going
I was gonna
off on
say, we need a
TikTok.
news
What
peg on
happened?
this.
Give me
What's
what
going on
happened.
here?
There was a girl that was going off on TikTok, not going off, but she was
Okay.
kind of going viral on TikTok. She had a purse specifically only for tater tots.
Okay.
She had gone out beforehand, went to a bar,
What?
and then stuffed the tater tots
It's not
into
a
a
real
small
story.
little purse.
This person is a
The
And then
genius.
she
air
was
fryer yesterday
having it
was
at
not a
the,
real story.
But-
The horse on the airplane
By
yesterday
the way,
was not a real story.
do not think we're not getting to horses on airplanes at some point today. That was riveting radio.
That was
so
kinda
that's another
fascinating,
matter. I have seen that. Also, I love following people who work at clubs when they do those things we found at the club tonight, and they're just picking up all the random items that they found after after the lights go on. Tater tots in the bag is a strong move. That's not a goofy snack. That's not a goofy place to have a snack in terms of where you're storing it. And sometimes it gets tight up in there. You're
What about some
smoking
pigs in a blanket? And
Smoking
you're
rum and
just
pigs in a
at-
blanket.
So you're at the club, the song's going, and all of a sudden,
No,
girl
all of a sudden you
turns
see me. No,
to
here's
her
no.
purse.
I'm doing
with
the
her Red
stanky
Bull
leg.
and vodka, and she's slipping in a tater tot.
I'm doing the stanky leg, and I go to my side piece, and I go, "Hey, Slee," and I throw one across the dance floor, and you catch it. That's what
And
it's a
Travis
two-man
comes
game.
out of nowhere and
It's
grabs
a
it
two-man
and
game.
puts it in his
Little
mouth.
pick and pop action on the floor.
it's better than like a Werther's Originals in your purse. Like
This is true.
There are some bad things you can have.
I
there.
can't remember the last time I saw somebody eating something inappropriate on the club. That's a very specific question, but
Yeah.
I do appreciate somebody willing to bring something in a side piece in
That
order
is
to get
kind
it
of
in the
fun.
club.
I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, somebody's having like a whatever snack. They're eating chips, Cheez-Its, something
Again,
like that.
this is why
Straight up a
this is
tater
why
tot.
hibachis should be dance clubs, so you can be out there Get in your groove on.
Sounds
Your
a little
boy can
dangerous,
flick
though.
the shrimp to you. You know what I'm saying?
There's
in
an
the
open
middle
flame.
Of the move.
An open flame in the club?
No, that's on the side, but you get the big league flippers, you know what I mean? So they can get you across the way.
I got one.
With the onions.
Broccoli incoming.
Okay, I got one for you. This is from
Yes.
Alan Sliwa in LA Live. The greatest sporting event you've ever attended.
Oh, this is tough.
It could be personal because it
Yeah,
was your
no,
squad,
I'm
or
thinking
it could
about
just
this. Somebody
be-
asked me this recently, and I had an
UVA
answer.
basketball game.
But I forgot. No, but that was actually a really
That
good
was the
one.
LeBron game, right?
No,
The
yeah,
Duke
LeBron
versus
was there.
UVA.
Zion jumped 19 feet from one side of the court to the other to block a shot. And at that point, every single scout that was sitting behind me just went,
oh my God.
Bro,
close
you've
their
been to some-
notebooks.
You've been to some great
I've been to
sporting
some cool
events.
games. I think the best games I've been to, I'll just say the best game I went to this year was a college baseball game in Omaha. There was a 1-0 game. LSU played Wake Forest, whatever. We're deep into Omaha chalk talk here, but it was one of those baseball games that was 0-0 going into the 10th and ended on a walk-off homer after a couple of great plays that kept it at 0-0. That was a fantastic matchup. So I have a better answer for that. If I'd known that when I went to sleep last night, I could have thought about it.
You could
but
think about it.
I'll
If
think
you
about
got
it
a-
throughout
if
the
you got
course of
another
the day.
one.
Yeah, for sure.
I think.
And if anybody
Emily
out there
loves-
listening was at a good game that I was at with you, perhaps.
Emily loves
Jog
the
my
one,
memory.
the 1-0 game. The 1-0 game's her favorite.
Yeah, those
That's
are good.
the most exciting.
Although
Most
I went to
exciting.
one that was 18 innings. That was not so exciting.
Okay, when we come back, spend a little time. Yates has got. Sounds like you have a very strong opinion about our Thanksgiving dishes draft from yesterday.
Well, there was some, let's just say representation was a factor from
All
my
right, well,
understanding.
I want to
Look at
get your
us.
I want to get your thoughts on that when we come back, and then Zach LaVine and the Lakers, still some momentum there. We'll talk about that as well. Stay right here, Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Wins. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, pork, dog, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat.
You name it!
We could have just done our entire draft right there.
I mean, right, exactly.
We could have done.
Listen
the
to
entire
Shirley
draft
Caesar.
Right
All right, she's a legend.
Wow, this is a
banger.
Yeah,
shouts to DJ Remus Scott Swift.
This is good. Okay, so we had our draft yesterday. Every Thursday we do a draft. Yesterday was Thanksgiving dishes, side dishes, whatever you want to put in. Mixed everything in, and I think the order was Jorge, myself, Emily, and then Trav, and then Snake Draft. We go back around.
Okay,
Two white people bringing up the rear.
Yes, but I have multiple questions
Let's
about
hear 'em.
like
what do you got?
What of your various strategies going into this?
Okay.
Because off the rip,
yeah,
sweet potato pie not making it. Very anti-black.
Boo.
Just joking.
I hate
but I'm
sweet
not
potatoes.
joking. Again.
Okay, they
there's
hate
that.
I like sweet
potato pie is the superior pie to pumpkin pie. This is a non-question.
But I'm not even talking about the pie. I'm just saying sweet potato in general. Do you like sweet potatoes
yes,
in general?
of course I like
do.
sweet potatoes. But that's not. I'm not even getting on you about that.
Okay.
What my question is here is like, how do yams go 12? How does ham get to the second round? Why is turkey even on the board? Like there are so many different questions here as to
turkey shouldn't have been
how
drafted.
it all turkey as listen.
Yeah.
Turkey is like the fullback of Thanksgiving dinner. That is an antiquated style of offense.
Yeah.
You go to a dinner, turkey, okay, but like,
I
come
get it,
on.
but it's Thanksgiving.
We've moved into a realm where we understand.
Sometimes you need that fullback to get that key block in there.
Name a fullback in the NFL right now.
I'm gonna
Kyle
go back.
Juszczyk.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
sure, that's one. Nailed it, Alan.
I was gonna go Lorenzo Neal with the Chargers
DJ
like
Watt.
20 years
Right.
ago.
There's one guy on one team that you could name off the top, but that's it.
But you
Turkey's
can't- you
not
can't-
a second-round pick in a 3-round draft. To me.
Of everything you
Not even
said,
close.
the
Wasn't
turkey
mine.
is absurd that turkey wouldn't be on a list. That's absurd that it wouldn't be on the list.
I don't think it is, bro.
Everybody's going to pick turkey.
Again,
Trav should have gone turkey before
No,
he took
turkey-
whatever. Trav took cranberry sauce.
Turkey
before
is like
turkey.
a kicker. You can get a turkey on the street
For
from
value.
a politician for value with
Yes.
ease. They're literally throwing them out of trucks.
Every house
every
is
week.
centered around that turkey for Thanksgiving.
See, you got
every
you
house.
You got to branch out, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Well,
the biggest thing in my household, or in our family, used to be the ham, the walking around ham. The walking around ham would have been my top pick, not even close, because the walking around ham has a two-factor element. Number one, ham is delicious.
Jorge took the ham. Yeah.
Ham is delicious. But I'm not just talking about you serve it at dinner with the turkey. No. The ham goes out in the morning so that all of the jabrones that are trying to find their way into the kitchen to pick up. No. Hit the ham. You grab a piece of that ham, you walk around with that ham. That's the walking around ham. Ham is top seed. Not even close.
I definitely do have a walking around ham family. Yeah.
This is a factor.
Okay.
Maybe it's a Virginia thing.
So I'm gonna green beans, Walter. What's that?
Give the
I'm
background.
not
Listen,
sure what that
This is
means.
my family thing.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm not
Let
knocking
me
it. I need
introduce
to know what that
you
is,
to
though.
white people Thanksgiving. Okay, so this is my family.
Because the ham then goes into the collards, and
they were.
But can you have that at any time though? It's
They were
not just a
18.
Thanksgiving specific.
I can also have apple pie at any time. But
You're
what
right,
I'm
you're
saying
right.
is that like that to me is my. I'm just saying that would have been my green.
Okay.
Can I just ask you a
dinner
very,
rolls?
Can I ask you a very?
What? Jorge, come on.
I ask you a quick question.
You can have the yam.
We have bolillos. Fool.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say.
it's-
I'm the same thing here. I'm just
picking.
drafting.
Then y'all
things-
pick your own?
You know?
I'm drafting things that I
I
don't
could have
think.
said tamales, bro. I
You
coulda said
should
all kinds of
have.
other
Yes,
things,
okay,
The point
so
of
we
this
had-
is to do your
Well,
draft
look.
picks.
I took stuffing. I took turkey, and I think it was pumpkin pie. Right?
Yeah.
Stuffing, not dressing, is your situation.
But you took like
Whatever
you
the
took
difference in
chalk.
that.
Stuffing.
You took chalk.
I did take chalk. Stuffing is definitely not going to be there on Thursday at the Sliwa household.
No,
It's just
that's
not.
that's going quickly.
But anytime, no.
Oh, you're saying you're not. It's not even on the table, literally.
But anytime I've had stuffing in my life, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. How is stuffing not there? They don't make.
You know
sense.
how many nights I got through in college with a box of stovetop and ramen? Poof, way too many. Stuffing is delicious. Now, here's my last biggest beef with this whole thing.
Yep.
Now, I see that under first-round pick cranberry sauce, Travis has gone traditional, as it's known.
Sure.
I mean,
I don't know how he took cranberry sauce with his first pick.
First of all, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And second of all, I mean, if it's not in the can and it's not ice cold and if it doesn't make a sound coming out of the can while I'm looking at it going onto the plate, I'm not eating it. All this, I mean, I got people that eat this kind of cranberry sauce, but this is not cranberry sauce to me.
That's a sauce coming out of the can.
This is something else.
Also, you can mix with cranberry sauce in general.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
do
not
it.
a cranberry sauce.
And it's, like I'll split like one of the little squares with like my brother or whatever, one of the circles with my brother. It'll be like, here, cut that in half.
Yeah.
It's nice and cold. You might throw it to the dog or something,
Clinton,
but like.
you
Yes.
want to hear about some real white people terrible food?
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
so this is what my mom makes every year. Sorry, Mom, you might be listening,
Is
but
this
you know
the
it's
one?
bad.
Is this the
it's
one?
a Jello salad.
Yeah.
So it's essentially like
Not good, brother.
Jello, mandarin oranges, like some sort of
I can
marshmallow
see
fluff.
the like 70s magazine print ad.
Yes,
with
it has.
this.
It is from my Polish grandmother that she made for forever. Marcy.
Do
Shouts out
most
to ya.
people in your family like it?
No, everybody hates it. It's literally just my mom makes it to honor her mother, but because she likes it, so
Does
she
she-
always makes it, and then she gets really mad.
I was gonna say-
it gets it. So one Thanksgiving,
Does
it
she
got
know
jiggled
that
and it
people
got
don't like
destroyed.
it? Or
a little
did-
bit.
or does
She-
nobody tell her?
No, we tell her,
Okay.
and she does not like. We tell her that we don't like it.
So you just let her have her happiness.
So it's my mom and my aunt, the only ones that like Jello salad, and they keep the tradition going from Marcy and because of themselves.
That's cool. I get it.
So that's very Pennsylvania Pittsburgh of them.
Deviled eggs also could have made an appearance on this list.
Deviled eggs,
You
I'm
know what
okay
I'm
with. I
saying?
like
Like
deviled
that's a very
Okay,
sort of
but we also-
Thanksgiving
Well, they
family
don't make it.
gathering
That's
deal.
breakfast.
Jorge,
We're not
making
making it either.
It. That's
Like,
not
I
happening.
don't- I haven't-
I'm just having it at a restaurant. I mean, we're not
Exactly.
actually.
Wait, you're
it's not
having
actually-
deviled eggs at a
I don't think I would
restaurant?
ever eat deviled eggs from a restaurant.
No,
I've
no,
definitely had
but
that.
what we're
Wait,
saying is that
what
we won't make it
restaurant
at home.
serves deviled eggs?
There's a place in.
She's like, hold on, stop
There's a
the show.
place in Pasadena.
Sure.
It's called Luggage Room. It's like a good pizza spot.
Okay.
The
Pizza spot serves deviled eggs.
No. They do. It's like there's two restaurants in one.
Okay.
And part of their appetizers, one of the things on there is deviled eggs, and I have definitely ordered deviled eggs.
That's a homemade thing. That's a grandma thing. That's a mom thing.
Yeah.
I would not trust a restaurant to make me deviled
Yeah,
eggs.
exactly. But
I
y'all
trust
ain't got no black eyed peas on here, no cobblers. You know what I'm saying? Like this is very not cookout friendly
I'm sorry,
Thanksgiving.
bud.
Just so you know, I just noticed that because I saw some tweets about it, and I was like, let me listen to this. And I looked at the list. I was like, oh my goodness,
Bro, my list
ham dropping in the second round. We got problems.
My list could have had pozole on
You
it,
should
bro.
have
It could
had-
had
You should have done that.
tamales.
That
You
would have
should
been.
pozole.
Okay,
Sorry,
talking about
Mom.
yesterday, I'm like, we would have dolma on ours. We'd
Yeah,
have
exactly.
curry on ours.
So
I mean,
next
I'm gonna
year-
have
They won't
all
next
get
these-
crap
year-
for it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Next
No,
year
you
we'll have
wouldn't.
a larger family draft. You know what I'm saying? Get
You could
5
have
or 6
pozole
people
any
in
day.
here.
You said
Pick
dinner
real
rolls.
things.
You said dinner rolls. What's the bread you said?
Bolillo. We get bolillos.
I'd have pita bread in ours.
That's what I'm saying.
Pita bread.
Okay, so it's the same thing. That's what we're gonna have the same thing for
But
Thanksgiving.
we got to keep it broad. It's just dinner rolls.
Yeah.
I love it.
We
But
try
you
to
don't have to
accommodate
keep it broad. You can do it
We
individually.
tried accommodating to
Yeah,
the
we try to
masses
cut-
there.
That's
Yeah.
why it says green beans Walter instead of green beans casserole because it's Emily's dinner.
No, that's funny. Green beans Walter, now that you've explained it, is
Green
probably the
beans,
best
Walter.
actual pick on here.
Do you think there's some? Do you think there's some truth to? Maybe this is not the right way to put it. Last couple of days we've been hearing about the Chicago Bulls are basically saying, hey, we're not going anywhere. We got players that got contracts, and they could very well start rebuilding. They got interesting pieces.
Okay.
Zach LaVine, interesting piece. DeMar DeRozan, a nice player. He's been a nice player in the league for a long time. Alex Caruso, one of the best defenders in the league, and I'm sure.
Did you mean NBA champion Alex Caruso?
And I'm sure the Lakers still sit here today saying, what the hell were we doing with Alex Caruso? And, oh, by the way, that contract that he has is nothing. It's one of the more favorable contracts in the NBA. And, anyways, clearly a mistake that the Lakers made. Jovan Buha, who writes for The Athletic, does a fantastic job covering the Lakers. Part of his piece says that the Lakers have real interest in Zach LaVine at the right price. Don't get me wrong. I know anytime rumors start coming up, there's certain franchises tied to it. It helps promote it. The Lakers, I feel like, are tied to everything.
Every transaction in the league,
Yeah.
the Lakers are linked with.
Is it just me, or did it seem like Miles Turner and Buddy Hield played for 4 years for the Lakers?
Extensive careers with the proverbial Lakers.
Yeah, I think I bought a Buddy Hield jersey. I think
It's honestly like Austin Reeves
selling them.
continuously being linked to Taylor Swift is like Tyrese Halliburton or whatever.
Yeah,
then
no, it's
being
true.
linked. It's
You're
like,
right.
It's
You're
never
right.
going to happen.
Not
She'll
gonna
make fetch
happen.
happen.
And the reason why I set it up that way is I know that part of this is just media and clicks and, First Take can go on and they could say, what would this trade look like? And it's much more appealing to talk about the Lakers than it is the Thunder.
I guess.
But part of this article, Jovan says that the Lakers have real interest in Zach LaVine. Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background here because I think it's important to know. Shams put out a tweet as well. There's increased openness for the Bulls of trading, and It's not just the Lakers. There's plenty of teams that are involved. Zach LaVine is owed a lot of money. So it's
big money.
Big money. And it's not like you're just grabbing Zach LaVine. And I know we always like to look at it, well, let's just look at it from a Lakers perspective. Well, you're trading with another team. How about you look at it from the Bulls perspective?
Right.
Do you have something that the Chicago Bulls would be interested in if this is a team hypothetically rebuilding? If you asked me, are they interested in D'Angelo Russell? I would say no. I don't think they would be interested in D'Angelo Russell. That's my personal opinion. Rui Hachimura, would they be interested in Rui Hachimura? Maybe, but
perhaps.
Let me caution you this on Rui. Rui got paid $51 million, $17 million a year for 3 years because of what he did in the playoffs, not because of what he did throughout his entire career. There's a little bit of risk to that contract. I can't sit here and tell you that he'll live up to that contract, or maybe he'll surpass it. There have been times, just using this year as an example, where I'm like, geez, Rui, where were you?
Mm-hmm.
And then he was out 4 games, concussion protocol. And then he's had some games where I'm like, damn, dude looks really good.
The Black Ninja, good at disappearing.
He's looked really good. He's looked really good. So I think the Zach LaVine chatter is interesting. I think conceptually for me, I think the bigger topic is, damn, 12 games in and we're already the chatter is already starting. Is that because it's a real Lakers feel like they have a real issue with their roster and they feel like they need to make a big move, or is this just chatter that comes around with the Lakers?
You got to hope it's the latter if you're a Lakers fan. What was the thing I've said over the past 2 seasons that I could not deal with from the Lakers front office, Lee? The constant roster turnover and lack of continuity.
By the way, I think a lot of Laker fans feel the same way.
Created a problem in terms of their ability to gel, never mind grow. This was the one off season. They kept a few things together.
Yeah.
You went from one media day to another, and you knew half the guys. As opposed to, not only are we going to flip the roster in the offseason, we're going to flip it at the trading deadline, we're going to flip it at the end of the season, and we're going to flip it again. Like, okay, everybody's here. The furniture has set in a little bit in the living room. And this is why I said what I said earlier in the show. If you believe that your team needs to both be dominant in the regular season in order to get to the playoffs in terms of how you put them together, you're going to constantly be in this mode. The lack of trust that this front office seems to have in the guys on the team is beyond me. Like, it might just be that this is an average basketball team in the regular season. It happens. Again, there are many franchises out there that kind of don't know what they're doing. The Bulls would be one. They've been trying to figure this little situation and combination of guys out with superstars, a role player, a side guy for a decade. And they haven't gone anywhere.
The Knicks.
The Knicks are a great example of this.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a given that you're going to be dominant because just what you think makes sense is a move that's available. And for me, the Lakers are a squad, again, built for the playoffs. And what makes that better? Continuity of guys that trust each other, know each other, and can understand what they can get out of each other. Throwing Zach LaVine into the mix right now and giving up 2 of the guys that might be your most contiguous players in terms of that little back end of your team, I would not do that. If I were the Bulls, I wouldn't do that. And to say that he's got a big number, Zach LaVine, it ain't just a big number.
It's huge.
It's a huge number. This year, 40 mil. Next year,
43.
43. 25, 26, going once, going twice, 45. 26, 27, we get up to 49 million. What are we doing?
Okay.
You know what? For an expensive experiment.
Let me say
that doesn't make sense to me, Slee.
Let me say this. If
he plays no defense.
Let me say this about if there was a player. The issue I have with trade talk now is we're 12 games in.
Right.
You have plenty of time to figure out if we're sitting here, let's say 30 days from now, and it's like, man, that engine just really ain't going. Let's say they're 500.
You say if they're under 500 at Christmas, you've got a reason to make some changes?
No, what I'm saying is you have time to figure out what you have.
Right.
So you're 6-6 on November 17th.
You're great at home, dicey on the road.
Okay. Let's say December 17th. I'm just going to use for sake of math. Let's say you're 12-12. You're hovering around 500. And then let's say in another month after that, now you're into January. You know when the trade deadline is? It's basically the end of the first week of February.
I thought it was the second week of February.
The start of the second week in February. Okay. why there's no need for the Lakers to panic on anything.
I agree.
I will give Pelinka this credit in the offseason. Not only did he bring guys back, but every one of the contracts is not a terrible contract.
No.
And they're guys at the right age, too, so that if you need to make a deal, let's say the Bulls don't want D'Angelo Russell, but say, all right, but there isn't that many years left on his contract. The numbers aren't crazy. And I'm not saying, I'm just using that as an example. The panic is not now.
No.
Yes, the Lakers are trying to win now. Yes, they're trying to, as best LeBron is going to be in his, he's in his 21st
Right, we're still
season.
in the window, proverbially.
We gotta speed things up. It's a little bit different. But that's the thing I keep going back to. Vando hasn't played a game yet. He's going to be a starter. Gabe Vincent will eventually come back. You're 12 games into the season. Rui missed 4 games. LeBron and AD have had some moments inside. Do we even know what we have yet? I don't think we have anything we have yet. Okay, I know we got to go to break here real quick. Let's do this when we come back. Something interesting is happening with the Los Angeles Clippers. It looks like Russell Westbrook is going to make a sacrifice for the Clippers. How much is that going to be able to help? We can do that coming up next. Stay right here. This is the Travis and Sliwa Show on 710 ESPN. Get it done? Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safe. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by.
It's a Feel Good Friday, and guess
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Wins. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
Your house twice in one day. I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
To reset, the Swift BI went after Travis Kelce over the past week and went back into his old tweets, pulled out a bunch. There was apparently no unsavory tweets to be found, just some funny ones that kind of show his himbo character, which is lovely.
I don't know, him feeding the squirrel bread.
Pretty strong.
I don't know what kind of bread it was.
PETA might have issues with that.
Okay, so what we're doing, though, is I'm going to read a tweet, and I want you to guess whether it's my old tweet or Travis Kelce's old tweet.
Got it.
Okay.
So far, we're
two for two. Yeah.
All right. So this first one's going to be, apparently I'm a tree. #leaves. Clinton?
I got it.
This is tough because Travis likes to throw out the goofy hashtags. I'm going to go Kelce here. I'm guessing that's somebody, him replying to somebody, perhaps referring to his inability to get open as a Cincinnati Bearcat as a tight end.
Okay, Alan?
I'm going Kelce.
Okay.
I think that fits his personality, the randomness.
Oh, you guys are tight now?
I know. I know really well.
You're an expert. Jorge?
Oh, with the crowd. Kelsey.
All right.
Oh, the buzzer.
That's
Wow.
fine. I don't know why. I have literally no idea why I tweeted.
Had we taken the elevator to a different floor that day? I mean,
how long ago?
Didn't
how
in
long,
high school.
How long ago did you send that out?
That was 2010.
2010.
So that
Wow,
was, yeah.
2010.
It was,
Hashtag
I was 14.
leaves. See, because in the previous one.
By the way, how excited was she to hit that buzzer?
I mean, yeah, that was solid. Just loaded that up.
Suck.
And everything.
Okay. I got another one. Okay. Let me just get it up here. Let's see. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Travis. Sorry, not Travis. Travis isn't here.
I'm like, okay.
I'm looking at the number 1 seat, and I'm automatically going Travis.
Yeah.
Alan.
I'm going to guess. Oh, your go. Sorry.
Read it again, please.
Can I get an alternate meaning? What are we at? A spelling bee? Come on.
When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Give me an example. I'm just
All right. Language of origin. Yeah.
I'll go you.
Okay.
I'm going to guess Kelce because you slipped up and said Travis, and I don't think it was because of the show host.
Okay.
I'm going to go with you. Yeah, that's gotta be
all right. So it was me. So that's something I said. Okay, I got one more here.
She double tricked you.
You know what I'm saying?
About to go goat cart racing. Haha, hope I fit in the cart.
Oh, that's got to be Kelce. Yeah,
Kelce.
actually, I know
it is
that one
Travis
too.
Kelce.
That's a good one.
But that he said goat cart racing.
Goat cart, yeah.
That's amazing.
He also he owns a car wash now, so the guy has a decent amount of love for four-wheeled vehicles.
Okay, keep those coming. Those are interesting. There.
I like those.
2010. This girl's. That's right.
That's
only
deep.
14. She was.
That's
at the
right.
time.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I wasn't thinking about that. I hadn't taken that into account.
Okay, so there's a story that came out. It's funny. We're having this conversation during Crosstalk, Super Crosstalk. Ramona was in. John was in at the time. Mace still had the day off, and we were talking about the Clippers. And this is before I think they lost again to Denver. And the conversation was, what's going on over there? You got so much talent. Why can't they figure it out? James Harden comes out with a quote and says, guys,
so much talent. Okay.
I'm getting ready to get in James Harden shape. I'm like, don't use that ever. In a
That's
sentence.
not the
James
context
Harden
you
shape is my shape. My shape is not good for the NBA.
Pear-like.
So one of the things that I think you start having the conversation of what are they going to do? What sacrifices are they going to make? There's a report from Chris Haynes that came out today that it looks like Russell Westbrook he's reportedly not going to be in the starting lineup, and it sounds like a sacrifice that he's making, and it looks like Terrence Mann's going to work his way into the starting lineup. You and I have not got a chance to talk about the Clippers at all. What do you think of their situation, their predicament? They're going to be going into a new stadium next year. Steve Ballmer is obviously doing everything he can to try to bring as many stars together and have success. What do you think of their predicament?
I actually think this is two separate conversations. I think what the basketball operation is doing is a separate matter from the growing of the fan base, the popularity of what's going to be the arena, the generalized existence in the NBA. Of course, it matters what the team does year to year, but I in fact think that is a completely different conversation than anything that has to do with whether or not James Harden can get to the rack or not. That said, I'm not buying that the collection of the LA 90s and 2000s and 2010s high school all-stars is a good way to build a basketball team. There was no world in which I immediately thought, well, this is going to be successful. Number one, because James Harden is a franchise wrecker. And even if he's not meaning to do that, that's what happened. I mean, as soon as you saw him walk into that locker room, you can't tell me that wasn't awkward.
Was awkward.
That video was very, very strange to watch.
There also is only one basketball.
Number 2, the idea of I am the system. Didn't love that. And again, not because I'm out here making fun of people's personalities. I just think that's an incorrect analysis of how this team is going to be able to potentially win games. And number 3, this is the most obvious. I don't see your stars playing enough basketball, dog. Kawhi and him and Paul, they're not on the court. So we could talk about, not, and this is the only sort of similarity to the Lakers in this situation is I don't need to talk about what ifs ever. Talk to me about what's actually happening, and what's actually happening with the Clippers is, it's going to take a while to figure that out. For Russell Westbrook to take a back seat, maybe not a back seat, I'll actually say this differently, to take a leadership role in a different space, as in on the bench, and say that that's what he's willing to do, I think it's a very good development for them because it answers a couple questions. That said, Emily's of the belief that they'd like to hang a banner before they get into the new arena and all this and all that, but I think that is sort of the detritus of the existence of the Lakers kind of hanging over what people think the Clippers should be trying to do. I don't look at it that way at all.
They're not connected.
They're not connected, they're not rivalrous, and they're not even on the same path of anything, and that has to do with this. Certain fans of certain teams like to believe that winning is everything and the only thing because they prefer to talk about how much better they are than another city than actually the quality of the basketball. And that kind of skews your vision as to what other teams are doing that could have a different goal that doesn't even relate to what you like. Lakers fans always talk about it's rings or nothing, which is ironic considering the amount of rings that have been won in the last 20 years, but that's another discussion. The Clippers don't care about that. The Clippers are trying to get a space where people want to go. That's it. When you're building a joint next to SoFi, trying to create sort of like what we talked about before, a Texas Live kind of situation, all their goal is to have a product that is not something people are going to laugh at if they otherwise don't care. There are a lot of people that otherwise don't care where they go for some fun basketball entertainment, and that's what's going on there. So what's happening with the championship
what you just
run?
said, but I'm gonna lean on what Emily said more. 100% Ballmer's trying to hang a banner.
Ballmer
no question
had a
about
press
it.
conference where he was bragging about the number of toilets in the facility.
Yes.
He is not concerned about whether or not the waggle action on the wing is going to be effective when Kawhi's in the game.
So can I ask you a question?
Toilets!
Why then go spend all your draft capital? Why then go try to get James Harden? Why then trade Shai Gilgeous and all the picks for Paul George? Why do all that unless your goal is – I think there's something about having SoCal because all these guys are from Southern California. I think there's something to put butts in the seats. And you know what? We want our entertainment when we get to Inglewood to be as good of an experience as anybody else. But it's important for the Clippers. I really do believe this to also have – hey, we're also a winning franchise. I think that's important too.
Yeah, to an extent – I believe that is a very Lakers-centric view that larger NBA fans don't necessarily hold. But I also think that was where he probably went a little too far from one realm into the other, and I'm talking about Ballmer. Getting a bunch of L.A. guys isn't necessarily going to make your team a championship contender. It might get butts in the seats, but I think the idea was if you can get the people that are connected to those players on over to the new building, specifically in Inglewood, then you've got a product. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the Clippers aren't trying to win basketball games. I'm just saying that if you told me that collection of guys was a championship contender, I'd have been like, says who and why? Because I don't see those dudes on the court. I don't remember the last time James Harden was holding up a Larry O'Brien trophy. That hasn't happened.
When they brought Kawhi and PG in, that moment when all that went down, I thought, watch out for the Los Angeles
That was a
Clippers.
lifetime ago, though.
Now it seems like it's just going like this.
Right, that was a lifetime ago, though. And what I mean is that, like, I don't correlate as directly as many other people do what the success of that building is going to be to the success of the basketball team. There's two different experiences, two different setups.
A lot of toilets.
I need to know whether or not, and if this gets too far into the realm, that's fine. But
how many are urinals? How many are stalls?
How many? No,
I would like a breakdown.
the wall between urinals situation. We need to know.
A lot of questions.
Are there barriers?
Sure.
Are there ledges on top to set the beer, or do I got?
I don't know.
Or is it what I like to call a Harambe situation? Are we all just letting it all hang out?
I have no idea.
Is it a trough?
Maybe
what are we
they
doing?
Don't want us to know that.
Oh, that's a big mystery.
Until later. Okay. The state of SoCal baseball coming up at 11:45.
Sure.
Dodgers, Angels. I might have to mix in my Padres
South,
in there a little bit as well.
South LA.
We'll do that, but coming up next is Factor Cap. Stay right here at Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN. Okay, my picks are in. Travis and I have been talking about Prize Picks. We've been talking about how great it is to play before these games. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Here's what makes it so great. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just got to pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projection and watch the winnings roll in. Here are my picks. Couple games, obviously, tonight. I'm going to stick with the Lakers-Blazers. LeBron, more than or less than 23.5 points. I'm going to go more than. Jeremy Grant of the Blazers, more than or less than 23.5 points. I'm going to go more than. So I'm going to take 23.5 on both of those players. This takes literally about 60 seconds to put in your entry. That's why so many people are using Prize Picks. Like I said, it's #1 daily fantasy sports app. All you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/710 and use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Website one more time, prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100.
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off. 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Wins. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
We're here each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
no, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey, guys. So,
What up?
Slee discovered a left notebook from Travis earlier in the show today. And
This is like when Indiana Jones had the thing to go through the caves in Temple of Doom. This is like finding that.
You had to cipher it.
Exactly.
It's a cipher. So
I gave up. I tried.
Oh, you did not find the Holy Grail.
No, it was hieroglyphics.
Exactly. You did not
Here's
find
one.
it.
I'm just going to do it real quick with you guys. All right.
Yeah.
What is... So this has been underlined, and then there's a star next to it, and that star is circled. Okay? So this is very important to Travis in this day. Rock fight. Do you remember that story?
Oh, I do. Yes.
Wait. No. I want Alan to remember the story.
So, you two both used to have fights with your friends or brother or whatever it is, they would fight with rocks.
Okay.
I'm like,
They just
wait
throw
a minute
rocks
here.
at each other.
Throw rocks? So
we're not throwing rocks
was
at each other.
weaponry
at
allowed,
7?
a.k.a. slingshots?
No.
Rock throwing.
No,
Okay,
Yeah, just
because the
straight-
slingshot game is where this comes into
you
my
can't put-
What are we,
childhood.
David and
You can't
Goliath?
put, you can't
No,
put rocks
David.
in a slingshot.
Yeah,
We're talking about somebody's out for 6 months.
Right, but you're not going for you're not going for like headshots. You're going to destroy property. That's what that's for.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see
I'll
that.
sprinkle more throughout the
Emily,
show.
were you
Bang out a
surprised that
mailbox or two?
that
No,
remembered that?
I gave you a layup. I wanted you to make sure that you got that
Was
one.
that a layup? Because to me, that was like a half-court
I
shot.
was gonna say that was a heave.
It was that putt across the entire Baylor floor. Okay, so I've been swimming a lot more lately, and
That's good.
last night my cap was not on my ear all the way, and so I got a bunch of water in my ear. So that's always fun. No one really likes that. So you would rather have a pebble in your shoe at all times for an entire year than water in your ear for an entire year. So again, this is you can't just change shoes and there's no pebble
Yeah,
anymore.
I hate these.
It's,
I think this
it's
is
a
easy
pebble
for
the
me.
entire year. You'd rather
this
have
is
that.
easy.
Fact or cap? Ow.
Cap, I want water in my ear. I can't do the pebble in your shoe is I might as well just have my leg amputated. I can't operate. Nothing is working in my head. I'm like, that's all I'm thinking about. And I'm not saying that the other one's a better option.
Right.
I'm just saying that I can't do the pebble in my shoe. You go for a hike, a walk, or this, that. I'm pulling over. I'm taking everything off just to get this pebble out.
I think I don't remember which the premise was, but
Okay, so if you want the pebble, you say fact.
okay, I'll say fact, but here's why. I feel like I can mitigate the pebble better via my sock game than I can deal with the water. They're both awful, and I walk a lot. I walk everywhere, in fact.
Are you trying to move the rock around?
I could find a
Stop
way
at
to
your
get it
foot?
somewhere. You get a thicker sock. You know what I'm saying? Something that's designed
from your foot?
for a skiing, so it's just away from my foot, so I can still walk. Water in the ear, unbearable. That would make me a crazy person. I would,
Right.
literally, I would not be able to deal.
Easy. Water in the ear as well. I'm with Al on this one. It's the easiest way to deal with something
It's
sometimes
annoying.
you forget
but
it's there
it's not-
sometimes.
Yeah,
So, whatever.
it's the other
You
one.
can also
in
do
here.
structural damage. To
Yeah, I was
your
going to say,
ear.
that can also really screw you up. There's
mean,
that
I'm
too.
already
You can get
screwed up.
swimmer's ear. Have you guys ever had swimmer's ear? No.
Yep.
Nah.
It's the absolute worst.
My sister was a
terrible.
lifeguard for 10 years. So
I
I'm very familiar with it.
1,000% have not been enough pools or any of that to deal with any of that.
It's a thing.
All right, so tonight I'm going to go see the prequel for The Hunger Games. So it's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's a prequel that's coming out almost a decade after the movie started coming out. It looks fantastic. I read the book. The book was fantastic. It was written, again, almost a decade after the movies and the books were done. So I'm excited for it. It looks great. So you had a fantasy genre that you were really into in middle school. So I'm going to be lenient with the fantasy genre because obviously, I wouldn't say Hunger Games is a fantasy. It's more apocalyptic. Anyway, you had a fantasy
our
genre
era?
that you were into in middle school.
What was going
Yates?
on in our middle school?
Fact. Star Wars. I currently am a host of a Star Wars podcast on the ESPN network. It's a big deal in my world. That was well before middle school, all through middle school, all through high school, up until now. It's still a thing. But I want to ask you quickly. I thought that movie was coming out online.
No.
I could have sworn I
It's in
just
the
saw
theater.
something that said it was on Amazon Prime when I was watching that goofball game last night. Is it both?
I don't think so.
Oh.
About
How
we'll
about
get,
that?
We'll get right back to it. About a week ago, we were guessing how many movies she's watched this year at a theater, correct?
I've also watched 2 more this week.
Okay, so we're going to add to that total. If you had to
How
guess,
have we not made this like a thing from our
If-
sales department, like
if
movie
you-
nights with
yeah,
Emily?
yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
100%.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, how many movies have she watched this year, this calendar year? And it's
This
more
calendar
than,
year,
and
it's
it's
November.
more than Mason.
So there's 6 weeks left in the season, in the year. So that's probably 40
In the
weeks.
season,
I'll
I like
say 75 movies.
Okay. It was. It's right now. It's 49.
Okay, so you
I
weren't
see
you weren't
49.
on the same clip all year.
I'll see 50 as of tonight.
I think
Okay.
I think he was closest.
I
'cause
did the
think
math.
We were all
I had
in
a
hundreds.
I had
Oh,
a
yeah,
big
no, I know.
summer empty space because
Sure.
there wasn't a lot of good summer movies.
Dare I say a blank space? Bam!
The SAG did not help that too much. So
Swift
Al,
710.
did you have a fantasy genre you were into?
Well, I think the fact that I'm asking him of
Yeah.
like what was going
Cap.
on during our generation, it is Cap. I was not into Star Wars. I was
Star
not,
Trek.
I was not
There's
into.
Star, yeah, we're getting loose here. Star Trek. You can even get your little goons
Game
and
of
goblins,
Thrones.
Lord of the Rings or whatever.
Throw me in that time when we're in middle school. all of those I was not into and never really got into many of that stuff. It's funny, Hunger Games out of nowhere I watched, and I was like, this is actually pretty good.
Well, they're actually good movies.
I'm like, this is pretty good, but I never really got into any of that stuff.
So I was in Denver recently because I was in Boulder for a story, and Denver is the most Hunger Games looking place. Yeah. The airport
the
alone.
capital's supposed to be there.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The airport alone. Have you ever been to the Denver airport?
Yes.
What's the deal? Is it this deal? 3
yeah, 3
Yeah, that's the one. If you remember, we did a show right before I was flying out there, and I think I sent a photo.
Yes, Blucifer. Yeah. So I saw Blucifer. I saw Blucifer again. It was very exciting because this time it was the middle of the morning, and so the red eyes were piercing through the darkness.
Yep.
It was
crazy.
great. When you pull into that, did you take the train or you drove? Because your picture was from the side of the road. Next time you go, if you take the train back, you will literally feel like you are in the Hunger Games because it pulls into the station. There's this huge hotel over it. It's kind of spooky.
Yeah, I didn't have time in middle school for any of those because Eddie Jones just got drafted.
Yeah, so you had to really
Eldon
talk
Campbell. There was a lot going on.
Kennedy Rec Center.
There was a lot going on there.
Jorge?
Yeah, same here. I didn't get a lot into any fantasy stuff like that either. But since he mentioned Star Wars, there was a thing where me and my buddies would go there because back then, you go to somebody's houses to watch a movie, you rent the movie, Blockbuster, you watch it at home. So my buddy was into Starship Troopers. And it was it's a cheesy movie. I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's one of the dope movies. They fight bugs and roaches or whatever those bugs are. But we got into Starship Troopers.
Just to give you an idea of how into Star Wars I was, so our old friend Tyler, who's the producer here, not the one in Iowa, he gave me the cases for the DVDs of various Star Wars movies, including the recent ones, because I just like the way the cases look. They're that dope. We took the Blu-rays out of them. It was like, I don't have space for the cases. I was like, I'll put them up. I don't care. They'll be on the
like having a
bookshelf just like anything else.
Yeah.
I am
all the DVDs.
By the way, the name of the podcast, Never Tell Me the Odds. You can get that wherever you find good podcasts.
There you go.
Is there a YouTube component to it?
There is not a YouTube component yet. It's a whole thing.
Somehow, Palpatine returned.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
component. Good job.
one last one for you guys. Ottawa has instituted, it was named the best place to take a nap, and they feel as though
there's place to take a nap. Okay.
Well, there's no nightlife. There's no life going on in that city for young
Ottawa,
people. So Ottawa has instituted a job listing for a nightlife czar. That means that you're going to go try to boost the nightlife, give some oomph to the city for young people to come to want to live in Ottawa. So this sounds like a great job. Jorge, Fat or Cap?
Absolutely. My first thing that I would create, tacos and tequila. Let's go, baby.
We've lost him. We've lost Jorge. He's opening up a new operation in Ottawa.
Al?
Fact. I would get the job and I would hire Jorge to do the tacos and the tequila. I'm not going to be the one with the best ideas. The fact that this place is known for what it is known, which is without a nightlife, already intrigues me.
Oh, right.
I'm already interested.
That's the draw for
I'm
you.
like, tell me more. Tell me more. So I'm not in that one.
Maybe they'll have deviled eggs.
You might have. By the way, you know what's funny? A lot of people are hitting me up on the luggage room being good deviled eggs. And they're right about this. Barbecue spots.
Yes, that's a good call. Barbecue spots do have good deviled eggs. Fact for me, some would say the mayor of a certain city that's named after an apple is already doing this job. But in D.C., they've hired this person, and it was a big deal what the nightlife mayor
it's like the rat czar
was going to be. Yeah, and so yes, that'd be a cool job. Especially in Canada where it's reasonably safe otherwise. It's not like the goofiest place in the world. It's extremely cold. I would never go, but it'd be a cool job.
All right, so 2 pieces of breaking news in the NFL right here real quick. So this is from Adam Schefter. Joe Burrow is out for the remainder of the season. He has to undergo surgery. So that essentially tanks the Bengals season. And then also from Jordan Rodriguez, Rams QB Matthew Stafford and other key starters will return on Sunday. So Matthew Stafford, and I guess the other key starters are Ernest Jones and Rob Havenstein.
Okay.
So presumably we're going to get a Rams report from Emily later.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's do. We'll hit a little NFL. I actually want to talk about Matt Stafford, what that means to him coming back, and they're almost probably better off, in my opinion, losing. But we'll get into that, and then I want to get in the state of Southern California baseball. A lot going on between the three teams out here in SoCal. We'll do that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
It's a feel-good Friday.
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So look to your left, Wins. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free! Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
All right, so just to reset from the end of the last segment, Adam Schefter announced that Joe Burrow was down for the rest of the season. He has to undergo surgery for his wrist, and so he is out. The Bengals are without their quarterback. That's the second at AFC North starting quarterback to go down this week. Deshaun Watson went down early in the week.
That's right.
And so the Bengals are also without it, so that leaves space for the Steelers and the Ravens in the AFC North. And then also other significant quarterback injuries from this year alone in the NFL. It's Joe Burrow with his wrist, Deshaun Watson with the shoulder, Kirk Cousins with his Achilles, Daniel Jones with his knee, Anthony Richardson with his shoulder, and Aaron Rodgers with his Achilles.
Look at this for a quick second in the AFC, okay? Look how many. The Texans are the 7th spot right now in the AFC. They're 5-4.
Looking good.
Colts 5-5, Raiders 5-5, Bengals 5-5, Bills 5-5, Chargers 4-5, Jets 4-5, Broncos 4-5. That's 7 through 14. Yeah. 7 teams that are within one game of each other
in the hunt. Yeah,
that's insane.
I mean, I think that's what you want if you're the NFL on some degree. But at this stage of the year, you want a couple teams that have pulled out, and a couple teams that are chasing them, and a couple more that are hanging around thinking they have a shot. I do think the more interesting discussion as an aside.
6-3.
I know the Steelers are legit.
Steelers.
Is all these guys going down? Like, I know they're fluky.
Yeah.
I get it, but like,
And there's not like one thing that each happens. It's not like it's like the turf for every single one.
Yeah,
and it's like at some, you're playing more games now. Guys are getting more injured. It's just, it's.
What do you do? Is there
I don't
something?
know.
It's also
They're
something,
not going back in games, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
it's also
but that's
something
the
to
problem.
Emphasize the importance of a good, solid backup quarterback. Okay,
Right.
the Rams saw this with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
That when you put Rippon in there, and then you got to have Carson Wentz. He's not the greatest, but he has been a starting quarterback in the league.
Sure.
Josh Dobbs was on the Browns up until August, got traded to the Cardinals, got traded to the Vikings, and then he's gone around and done well. It's just there's not that many great backup quarterbacks, and is that a problem that there's not that many good quarterbacks?
So let me explain it two ways, Em. Number one, the NFL used to exist at a time where having a great quarterback was the kind of luxury that brought fans to your stadium, sold you jerseys, but was not necessarily looked at as the say-all, end-all, be-all manner of how you built your team. Your backup was only your second-best quarterback. It wasn't the dude who's never going to get in. It wasn't the guy he's got to be training. It was just another guy. Joe Montana, Steve Young come to mind in this regard. Mm-hmm. Over the years, because of the rise of sort of one-man bands, I think of, let's just say, a Dan Marino. Who,
and also evolutions in the way we play quarterback.
This is what I'm saying. Evolutions in the way we play quarterback have led to evolutions in the way we build teams. And so the value of a young, cheap quarterback versus being the guy for 10 years is more important or whatever than the value of having the most actual possible talent at that position. I think that as the game and the seasons get longer and the game gets more vicious, that's going to have to swing back a little bit where I'll take two guys that I know can both play over a guy who I think can play 10 years and another guy who's a question mark. That's me.
And prepare both people to play.
I'm with you.
Because right now it's just you prepare your starter to be the starter and your backup gets second-hand reps all the time, no question about it.
There was also a
I'm
time
with you.
growing up, it was very common to draft a quarterback and sit him for a year or two.
Yeah.
That there wasn't this, you got to come save our franchise right now, and it doesn't. And
Don't get me started about
and
how much
you're
I
not
hate that.
ready,
Yeah.
right? Like, and you're not ready at all. This is a example, and it's not that it's the perfect one, but growing up in SD, Drew Brees was a quarterback.
Yeah.
Eventually, the Chargers had drafted Phillip Rivers, but Rivers did not come in right away until Drew Brees had a bad injury last game of the season, I think it was, and the Chargers decided they were not going to pay him. Phillip Rivers then got his opportunity. It's not the best example because those were two really good quarterbacks.
A good example is the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Smith was the quarterback. They drafted Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes only came in that first season and there were blowouts late in games.
Yeah.
He played 4 games that season. Alex Smith gets his leg blown to smithereens. Then Mahomes comes in. That model that you're talking about, to me, I think is what we should get closer back to.
But then there's also the Jordan Love of it all who sits for 3 years, and then it's also, you still don't know if he's bad or not, and then you realize he is
But that's
bad.
on the Packers. You know what I'm saying? That's where it changes. The teams.
Didn't they also draft him? Like, would you?
They went way too high to draft him.
They shouldn't have drafted him there.
Right.
But it's not that everyone's going to work perfect, and I don't think that's the point I'm trying to make. I think the Rams situation is interesting because the Rams, Stafford's going to come back this week. I think that part of the reason why they maybe have not valued backup quarterbacks, I think they've also thought in their mind, if Stafford goes down, we don't have a shot of actually putting together a good season moving forward. That maybe part of the strategy is, well, if he's not playing, we might as well lose games because it's in our best interest. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
This weekend, Stafford's going to come back. If you're a Rams fan, you should not be rooting for the Rams to win this game. The difference of being 3-6 or 4-6, you might as well just start losing some games and go worry about your draft capital. So you're in
the late tank at this point.
I am, only because they're not going to make noise. Like Trav always says this, and I think it's the right thing to say. Even when Stafford was there, they weren't a lock to win games.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And they've struggled, and yes, part of it is because he's not there and they haven't had health, but they're also not that good of a team.
The thing is, I just hate the idea of, specifically in the NFL.
I get it.
Forcing everything up to the kind of simulation effect. I say this all the time on TV. quarterback is the worst coach position in the league. Guys come in and they expect them to be great, and then when they're not, they throw them away. There's
no development.
Very rarely do you see development in the way that you used to see it. So for me, the idea of, let's just tank out, let's see what happens. Bruh, players got to get better. And part of that happens in in-game situations. So I don't love the idea of just saying, screw it, we'll hope we'll find the next, for lack of a better term, Justin Herbert. You know what I'm saying? In the draft, that's a no-doubter pick. That's never been a smart football strategy to me, even if it has worked. I feel like the last 15 years of NFL football has spoiled us with the notion that franchise guys are just walking around colleges of America. They're not.
Right.
We got a 20-year period where there were like 10 dudes.
But then there's also like the Brock Purdy's of the world that could be drafted in the 7th round, but go into a really good organization,
coach
with a
him
good
up,
scheme, and get coached up to play well. This is the best situation possible for him to succeed.
I agree.
Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith's having that in Seattle.
He's having a regroup, but like a Russell Wilson of a young quarterback comes in and is the guy and is still on the rookie contract to the point that you're making multiple Super Bowl runs. That ain't happening like that no more. I know that C.J. Stroud is having a great season. Don't get me wrong. Great story.
But
Sidebar.
if they went to the Super Bowl, that would be very unlikely.
Right. Sidebar, if you want to check out ESPN Daily, had a whole show today with Liz Merrill who wrote a story about C.J. Stroud. Okay. So that's what I'm saying is that there are examples of guys being good enough to make you feel like you have a shot. But in a season like this, where this level of 500 play is all over the place, there's no way that I'm tanking. Who knows what could happen? If you've got anybody and a chance, and by a chance I mean you're actually on the field, to me, I really don't like the way a lot of NFL teams treat this. The idea of we can just pluck somebody out of nowhere, he's going to save our season. The Commanders come to mind here too. It doesn't work like that.
The most important thing to having your quarterback be as best as possible is your offensive line. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if your quarterback doesn't have to get touched, most people look pretty good.
Exactly.
And if they don't, then that's on them.
And they don't have to be – listen, there's some quarterbacks that are just absolutely special. I'll use Purdy as a good example. There's so many things around him. Just don't lose games.
I mean, you saw when Trent Williams was out that he played worse because he was getting tackled.
Yeah. Right. You think Kenny Pickett's the best quarterback in the league or even in the division? No. That team is thriving.
The worst.
Yeah. That team looks good.
All right, state of SoCal baseball. A lot of conversations. About the Angels. I want to get your thoughts on the new manager. What's going to happen to Shohei Ohtani? The Dodgers offseason. The Padres are looking to potentially move Juan Soto. Some interesting things happening here in Southern California. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off. 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Linz. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Candy, and Michelle. Now, mornings 6 to 10 a.m. on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN. KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
So it's the Battle of the Kelseys, the family battle on Monday.
I have some questions,
the
though.
Eagles and the Chiefs.
I have some questions, though, before
Yeah.
that. Is this, so the Eagles holiday album, is this a collection of standards from just Jason, or is it the entirety of the squad?
It's the
What's
offensive
situation?
line.
Oh.
So it's the offensive line. They
The
sing a bunch of
baritones, if
songs
you
together.
will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they've done it for the past couple of years. They also, I think, do a calendar. And then they invited Travis to come on this one. And again, this has been topping the Apple Music charts as of
Killing
yesterday.
it.
Yeah,
I love it. It's
but-
more because of the. I mean, just this is musical theater right here. This is amazing.
All right,
It's
so
amazing.
It's good stuff.
Throughout the show, because Swift BI went after Travis Kelce and got all of his old tweets, resurfaced them, and they were all very harmless and very funny. So but I also know that I myself have some embarrassing old / funny tweets. So I'm gonna read one, and you guys are gonna guess if it's Travis's or if it's mine. Okay, so I'm gonna read it right here. So. Up at Olive Garden with Papa, had to grab a fettuccine with the chicken Alfredo. Hashtag schmackin'.
Okay. First off, you
Like that
reading
line read?
that the way you did.
I was going to say, isolate that. Hashtag schmackin', that's got to be somewhere for use. down
And
the
just
line.
so you know, last year at holidays, I don't think you were in because it was you and Beto.
Yeah.
I love Olive Garden.
Oh,
I talk
we
about
know.
Olive Garden all the time.
We know. That's good eating, as they say.
That's a great tweet.
Yeah.
Like, just isolate whoever the hell that was, whether that was
Smacking.
you or Travis. I'm going to go Kelsey on this one.
Okay.
But that's just a good tweet. Like, there's nothing he's done so far that is making me think less of him. I'm
No.
thinking it's just his stock continues to
Slow.
rise. I'll go Travis on that one.
He is winning conference games. All right, these are not conference blowouts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's winning games with the run play, matriculating down the field,
Little
getting
things
better
that matter
every
right here.
game.
Yeah.
That's how you
Yeah. We're
accumulate.
trying to get first downs and move the ball. That's what he's doing.
Yates?
I'm gonna say you just because I like the way you said schmackin'. I gotta believe
That
you
I
used
said it
that
multiple
before.
times?
That
Yes.
when she tweeted it, she said it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
Jorge?
going to go Travis on this one.
Okay, it is Travis.
Oh.
Travis did say, and Olive Garden quote tweeted it recently. Okay, I got one more
When's
for you
the
guys.
last time you were at Olive Garden? I've been at Olive
When I was
Garden
home.
in years.
I was gonna say this is
There's
good.
honestly an Olive Garden very close
She's
to me.
the top one pick in this
Yeah.
draft. Is who's going to Olive Garden.
But
I've
I
been to
went
Olive Garden
last
years.
December with my sisters. And
Okay.
we got,
Yeah, that
Fairy
was
Garden.
that was a whole story. I remember
Yes.
that.
And then Beto didn't understand why I liked Olive Garden so much, and he just doesn't understand the comforts of suburban life.
Exactly.
I mean, it's clearly why. It's
Next time
as
I'm
good
in
of
on Thursday,
Italian
we're
food as you
doing
can possibly
suburban American eatery draft. Is
Yes,
what we're doing.
love
That's-
that.
actually, that sounds
All right, next one, real quick. It's
Might
going to
steal
be I got a Chipotle gift card with a smiley face.
I'm going you.
Okay. Yates?
And I would also tweet that.
These are
out
from
if I
10
got
years
that.
ago, so
Yep.
Travis was still in college. I'm
Yep.
gonna go Trav. That's a big bonus.
Jorge?
Nah, it's got to be you.
It is me.
Oh!
Yates has been terrible
I
at this.
got the first two right and just completely crashed out of the season.
But
looking
we'll
like
we'll
the
sprinkle
Colorado
more
Buffaloes.
throughout the show today.
I mean, I love that. That's
Man.
I didn't do good today. What happened? I didn't know that Emily had the gift card from Chipotle.
Yeah, that's what I
love
failed at
our
work today.
level
Exactly.
of knowing. Okay, I promoted a couple different times. What's your thoughts on Angels grab Ron Washington? We spent a little time talking about this yesterday. I think Travis said that he had arguably the longest text thread about Ron Washington with you in the history of anybody else talking about Ron Washington. But you guys were giving your at least your thoughts or
That's how
something
he
along those
qualified
lines.
that?
Hashtag schmackin'.
As in you guys had a lot to
We
say.
did. Yeah,
about
no, we
the-
talked
about Ron
talked about it at length.
So kind of take me behind the scenes here. The Angels are I think we haven't said many positive things about the Angels in a long time.
No.
Specifically this show, we haven't, and nobody really has. Even if you're trying to be very optimistic about who they are, where they're going, you can't really find that many positive things to talk about.
No.
I think everybody believes this. It's only a matter of time until Ohtani's gone. There was a good article earlier today talking about how the next move should be if Ohtani leaves, Mike Trout should get traded, try to trade him to Philadelphia, and it was making arguments for both teams. They went and signed Ron Washington. Just where do you think of the state of where they are, and more importantly, what they should be doing moving forward?
Couple things. Now, this is particularly personal for me because as a brother that covers baseball and a brother that specifically writes a lot about black baseball, Ron being out of the game from a managerial standpoint was kind of a separate story and discussion. The Rangers won their first World Series this Fall Classic.
Yep.
The person who had taken them to 2 straight prior was Ron Washington. Now, controversies about his career aside, blah, blah, blah. Like exactly.
Yeah.
You know, he tried to resign. They said no. He was that class of a guy even after his controversy. Ron Washington, a.k.a. Wash, great dude. I wrote a column about him a couple years ago in which I got to do one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life, which was burn a heater while drinking coffee with Ron in a dugout.
Very cool.
At the crack of dawn.
Very cool.
And we talked about, why aren't you a manager? And he said, I don't know. He's been a third base coach for the Braves for a long time. They went to a couple World Series, went to World Series and won one. He always wanted to get back to managing. So there's that part of this that, to me, somewhat personally, is really important. Ron is back in the fold.
Can I just ask you this? It's not common for somebody to have that much success, and it's not like the Texas Rangers have this history of, hey, we're knocking on the door every single year. You get to 2 World Series. How come we had to wait this long for him to get another opportunity?
I think it was a certain amount of, again, he had, I'm not going to call it a checkered past, but he has an adult history, if you will, in terms of certain things that had happened in his career as a leadership. But he's always faced that stuff. He's always said, here's what happened, here's what I did, I will accept punishment, and we will move on. There's an element of that. There's also an element of the game kind of shifting away from the old guy manager in terms of who people wanted to be representing their franchises, who people wanted to be leading their teams, and who people wanted in leadership decisions. 2 years ago, if Ron had been hired, he would have been the oldest manager in the bigs by a lot. In those 2 seasons, Dusty, older than everybody, won one. Boch walks into the league, older than everybody, not named Dusty, wins one. So I think that over the course of these 3 or 4 years, the mindset has changed to be like, oh, maybe this isn't such a bad idea.
It's working.
Number 2, what Ron does is he improves your defense and your base running, which when we look at what the game is now in terms of shortening the pitch clock, the fact that the pitch clock even exists at all, the throwovers, the base running, all that improves when Ron becomes your manager. And when you look at a team like the Snakes in Phoenix and you say, okay, they had the unanimous Rookie of the Year in Corbin Carroll. Okay, Brandon Pfaadt is one of the better pitchers in the NL. They cobbled together a staff that was respectable. Marte's a stud. They got some guys. My man Tommy Pham is a banger. He picked him up late. Okay. You think to yourself, well, if they can make the World Series, everybody ain't that far away. And I get it. The Shohei and the Trout conversation has sort of dominated everything to the point where I feel like this team has had problems developing on any other level. And if you want to get somebody who you think can at least instructionally make your team better, Ron's a guy.
Can I ask you a question? Does it matter? And when I say does it matter, whoever they put there as manager, I think your case for Ron Washington, okay, that's I like it.
It's good as case as any other guy.
That's fantastic. And I think this is where Trav and I'm sure there's a lot of Angel fans out there. I remember, however long ago it was, I think it was it about this time last year that the conversation came up that Artie Moreno was going to sell? Maybe it was a little bit earlier, whatever it was. That was for the first time where I said, hey, maybe things are going to change in Anaheim. Maybe, that's the most important thing. If you get the right owner, watch out. They didn't. He decided not to sell. That even with bringing in Ron Washington, do Angel fans really have something to look forward to? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, your owner is still your owner.
If you're the kind of a person that believes that the stench of Artie Moreno is too strong for any other scent to break through,
I think I lean towards that.
Which most people do. I respect that. All I'm saying is your team's going to get better with Ron Washington. That's all I'm saying. And if you want to look towards some of these other squads that have taken some dashes at the playoffs, he said they want to run down the West. That's a little bit of a, braggadocious kind of thing. You got to say, but don't get it wrong. I mean, Moreno is not going anywhere. I saw him at the golf course at Pelican Hill on Monday. He was angeled out. I was like, okay, I guess as if nobody knew who you were. But I feel that if nothing else, having a person that's been around the game who isn't the type of person that, let's just say, a Madden is from an ego standpoint, I think it helps. You know what I mean? You know, and I don't listen. Am I going to say that they're going to be making runs to the World Series, Angels in the outfield, blah blah blah? No, but if you can get a product with a person that people kind of respect a little bit more, even if the Shoheis and the Trouts move on, that's better than getting some nobody who nobody's ever heard of, in my opinion. Well, especially somebody who's been around the game as long as Washington.
I'm good with the case, and I think that even if we feel nothing's going to change, I think, probably convince a lot of people maybe didn't have that much history on Ron Washington, or let me get this. Yeah. I think that's
more
a good
fun
case
guy to have around, better brand of baseball than you're used to seeing.
I guess, the question for the Angels, and I really truly believe this, but we'll see what ends up happening because it's got to make sense on both sides. I think resetting the franchise is the right thing to do.
I agree.
I think finding a way to see if you can find a trade partner for Mike Trout is the right thing. I think all that stuff makes sense. Do you think would they reset and say, whatever we got to eat to let Trout go, yes, we'll try to do our best to get some talent back, but I think he still has how much left on his contract? He's got 7 years left on his contract, so I know it's a lot.
There's a world in which even if Shohei comes back, I'd consider trading Mike Trout. Like, let's just say Shohei does what's been rumored in some places. I'm taking 2 years in one spot because I want to be able to figure out if I can pitch again. And the one team that I know is going to let me do it the way that I want to do it is probably the Halos. That's a thing that's out there, just so people know that. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen.
Okay.
But for an example, comparatively, let's just say he gets to the Dodgers and the Dodgers say, you're not throwing anything until we say so. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, if that's the case, I'm not going to sign for no 5 years. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what you're going to do to me. So that's where that negotiation point comes in. Getting rid of Trout, I think, is the one big chip they have because the big three, if you want to say this, they try to put together, the biggest failure out of all of them
Rendon
has been Tony. Two Bags Tony, as we used to call him when he was in D.C. That is almost a larger question to me as to what the development of this team is going to be because he don't play. It's one thing to play and not be nothing, but he does not play anymore, and he's making a rack of cash. And so the reset is more than just whether or not Ohtani signs.
Oh, yeah, Rendon's living good.
He's making crazy cash.
He's living good.
Let's see the numbers, seriously.
He's 38 next year, 38 the year after that, and then one more of 38.
It's unbelievable. That piece is a different issue than what the Trout scenario is. He's at least trying to play. If he can't get on the field, I get it. But, I think that
7 years, 245 was Rendon.
Get out of here with that. So they got a lot of issues around rebuilding that I think are sort of all disparate. But I like the Ron move.
Okay, I got a question for you when we come back on Shohei, and then I got a question on Juan Soto. So I'm going to sprinkle both of those in. Plus, this weekend, SC and UCLA, and they have absolutely nothing to play for, I think. We'll do that coming up next. Travis and Sliwa Show, 7:10.
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off. 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Wins. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
On 710 ESPN.
So earlier in the show,
Yeah.
Slee found a left notebook from Travis. And he
Travis
likes
has
to
a
take
locked
notes.
locker, and I found a way to open it.
Yeah, you broke
Travis
in because
is
you're the secret agent.
He is the Dr. Jones of this station. He's
Yeah.
sort of been on the most swashbuckling adventures kind of thing.
Right,
You
exactly.
know what I'm saying?
So I've just been trying to decipher his notes here, and he does us a favor. He does put a date on it. So he says Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. So we know exactly year, day of the week. It's great. He's very meticulous. Okay, so I'm gonna.
By the way,
just,
I tried to decipher, and I was like, I can't do it.
I haven't even looked at it.
I just,
so
I said,
I'm
whatever you can do, if you can
trusting,
help us here.
trusting Emily.
Here are several things. I think you know two of them at least. So Chinese food, Fruit Lady. So we remember that story, right?
Yeah.
Fruit Lady wasn't.
For those,
Yeah.
tell the story.
Fruit Lady
wasn't there.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
So
tried
he had a
making,
panic
he
attack
tried
'cause he had a
making
whole
a
move
smart decision.
Where he changed his whole day around to make sure he got to the Fruit Lady.
His
And she was
son's
not even
baseball
there.
game.
Yes,
Fruit Lady
okay.
not there.
I remember
ends
that.
up
The
eating
ball ended up rolling
I
into a
remember that.
court that he didn't want to be in.
14 combo plates of Chinese food.
All right, so this one I don't even understand. Maybe he didn't get to it in the show, but
Okay.
stupid/soy. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know if that's soy, but it says
Jorge, do you remember that?
stupid/soy.
Stupid/soy.
No. Oh, well.
Maybe
Where's
he
the
didn't
buzzer
bring it
when we
up.
need it? Yeah.
Does it have a time? No, right? There's no timestamp on that? Like,
No, he didn't say it
I think he's
at
time-stamping his
10:58.
notes.
no, because I do. Like, I have
Yes,
like 10, 11,
you
12.
are meticulous in running the board. I don't think
Because he had to
Travis
got pulled for
getting-
promos and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, can we bring that up on Monday? Because
Yeah,
I
what
have
does
no
stupid
idea
soy
what that
mean?
is. Yeah.
One last one. It has been circled several times, has a bunch of stars around it, and it's all in capital letters. Mean Girls.
Yeah, Mean
Girls.
Which makes sense because Travis is obsessed with the movie Mean Girls, obsessed
There was a
with
trailer that
specifically
came
Lindsay
out.
Lohan.
and-
I'm not obsessed with that movie in any context that has anything to do with the actual content of the film. The thing that has most struck me about what that franchise is, I mean, Tina Fey is like a robber baron. Makes a movie.
Yeah.
Makes a play. Makes a musical. Makes a movie about the musical.
And she even predicted this in her show 30 Rock,
It's
where her
insane.
one character, Jenna Maroney, receives an award, I guess in like one of the seasons. It
Damn.
says Best Actress in a Movie based off a musical, based off a movie.
It's a good observation.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that is really hustling, the game right there. Like,
She knows she's a capitalist. It's
Oh,
great.
man.
She
If
also
you-
there's no musical in that trailer, which is why people are like, is it a remake of Mean Girls? Is it a musical?
I know, it's definitely the
It's a
musical.
little bit misleading of the trailer.
Yeah.
If you end up finding anything else, please tell us. We got
Will do.
plenty of time to do that. Okay, so there's There's some rumors out there that apparently Shohei plans to hold secret free agent meetings and that he doesn't want it to get out who he's meeting with. He doesn't want, I guess, any details, which, by the way, sounds exactly like
also,
Ohtani.
Just to note, he unanimously won the MVP last night. He
Yep.
also has a cute little dog.
Yeah,
Most important thing.
I mean, come on. You blew out the headline there, buried the lead entirely,
Here's
which is that
Cutest
he
dog of all
asked for
time.
a high five from his dog.
Actually, I didn't see that.
On
I didn't see any
camera,
of it.
Yeah.
live,
Legit?
and the dog delivered. It happened, okay?
His house
changed the course of my whole
his
night
house
last
looks
night.
very sterile, though.
Yeah.
It looks very clean,
I would not assume that that's his house
very
separately.
white,
but
very
you know,
like
yeah.
I think
everyone's
it's
there's a robot.
it's a 2-bed, 1-bath. I think it's about
Yeah.
900
sure.
square
He's got a
feet.
little, you know, listen, bungalow,
900 square feet. Yeah.
compact bungalow.
One of
some
those
very,
apartments across from the stadium.
very
That's what it
modest.
is.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to derail.
No,
It's,
you're good.
it's a restaurant on the bottom, and then he lives on the
Apartment
top.
on top.
5 and on top. So one of the stories was that rumors Ohtani doesn't basically want to know. He doesn't want it to come out, the teams that he's interested in, the teams that he actually meets with. I haven't got a chance really to talk too much with you about Shohei in general. Here we are. Like you just dropped something in the last segment where you said that there's some rumors out there about he may want to sign just a 2-year deal and kind of build back the ability to pitch again and go from there. What are, just of everything that's out there, nothing that you can really take and say, oh, okay, yeah, I think this is going to happen. Nobody seems to have any idea what Ohtani is doing or what he's going to do. What's your take? What's your feel on where we are with Ohtani?
So just for context, the winter meetings are coming up in, I think, 2 weeks in Nashville. So that's most likely where this news is going to drop. Baseball likes to do that. They make sure that their big things happen when they're on their big stage. I would be very surprised if news came out before that. So there's that, just for people who are thinking that something's going to happen. Number 2 is this injury that he sustained to end last season was very important in all this. You're talking about a completely different negotiating standpoint from not just his camp, but the teams as well. Because, as I mentioned in the last segment, there are teams that are going to say, yeah, do whatever you want. That's what the Halos did. He was running his own program. The entire franchise was operating around his schedule.
Yep.
There are some teams that simply do not do that. The Dodgers are one. The Yankees are another. And unless they're going to suddenly change their complete operation to let him basically rehab as he chooses and then thus make his choices after rehab, that's not the same.
But if hypothetically Ohtani, I'm going to do it my way. Because we've heard that. He's got his own camp. Ohtani does it his way.
Yeah.
A team like the Dodgers, who you're 100% right. No. You come in, this is our system, and you fit into our system. And I'm sure it's not just like that.
But
I'm sure
for
there's
the
certain
most part-
players that they give some leniency towards.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted. There's a reason why a lot of guys ain't all that pumped to come in to play for the Dodgers who've already been in the league for a while. These are the kind of things that affect that kind of stuff. The Corey Seagers, the old boy from Detroit, you know what I'm saying?
Trey Turner decided to
all
leave.
these kinds of things are very real, and they're not knocks on anybody. It's just a system versus system thing.
So, but if you're the Dodgers and you want a legitimate shot at Shohei Ohtani, then you do have to change your way. And maybe
or
it's just
you have
for
to
Shohei.
pay a ton more cash, and that's where this becomes.
But that's not even them, where they go out and say we're going to go outbid someone. Not that they don't have the money; it's just strategically. And I can't argue about the Dodgers' way. The Dodgers, they're in the postseason every single time.
Some of us can argue about the Dodgers' way, but that's a separate discussion right now. I think that those are the 3 things that are going to matter most. A, is he going to be able to do what he wants to do from a rehab standpoint? B, when he gets back, are you going to let him do whatever he wants as well? Because listen, double Tommy John surgery, not easy to come back from.
Big deal.
A lot of guys turn into relievers. Very rarely does somebody get back to a Cy Young level after having 2 TJs, who was a starting pitcher.
Bueller is double Tommy John, right?
Let's see. Let's look up this list.
Because the guys that they have out right now,
Well,
I know
Bueller will be double Tommy John when he gets
double
back.
Tommy John. Dustin
As
May.
will Dustin May.
Okay.
Now you're trying to tell me,
and I'm not
you're
sure about
rolling into a
Gonsolin.
season-
Gonsolin, no, right? I think
You're trying to
Gonsolin
tell me
might
you're
be.
rolling into a season with a triple double Tommy John pitching staff?
Never heard of that.
My guy.
Yeah.
And so I know this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but let's just say that if the priority for the Ohtani camp is what happens with his arm, and we're just going to take the DH element as a given, I'm not sure how much that helps the Dodgers, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not a headache per se, but it's an added spotlight and it's an added thing for a team that is looking for, sure, like the bat is great, the base running is great. There's no world in which I'm downplaying Ohtani's skill and potential to add, but the type of player they need, the mean man alert, the type of guy that's going to get in somebody's pocket, or if we'll say to be nice, the type of player that is not the flashy, oh, look at me guy. I'm not saying that Ohtani is that guy. He just has a lot of eyeballs on him. That would seem to be a larger priority, in my opinion, than the Dodgers getting another fancy suit to put in the window. That said, if he likes him, he likes him, and they've probably got the most money available to pay him. And so, there's an interesting balance there. Other teams in play. The Cubs are making a big run. Okay. People think that as a result of getting Craig Counsell, the Cubs had a pretty good team last year, kind of crashed out in the last week of the season. It's entirely possible that all of these things, to keep this more Dodger related, that Dodger fans just kind of assume make them a better fit or better franchise. Like, that's not really the case. If that was the case, a lot more people would be coming here. And a lot more people would be wanting to stay here. So, let's be real about that, And I do think that what's best for any particular franchise adds a different level of variance of what's best for the league. You know what I'm saying? I think, honestly, I like the idea of him doing a 2-year to figure it out. Go to some squad that's maybe not necessarily a legacy franchise that you have to be at for 5 years. The entire idea of signing guys for 10 years for more than $30 million a year is insane.
Here's why I don't think he'll do a 2-year. I don't think he has to. I think the money's going to be there. I think they can. I think that there's always going to be, and I'm not talking about 1 or 2 outliers. I think there's going to be a few franchises that say, what's the cost? Why take a risk for 2 years? Well, you're going to get the guaranteed. Rendon's got 7 years, right?
Because if it's $200 million for 2 years, the cost ain't nothing. That's $200 million just for playing baseball. Never mind all the money you're going to make. You know what I'm saying? Like $500 deals, $500 million deals, et cetera, et cetera. I get it. That there's an argument on the other side too, Slee. That money's going to be there if you're any good.
It's a complete guess. Complete guess.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it ends up being a California team. The question is just which one. Okay. I still think, a team like the Padres are in the mix. I still think the Giants are very much in the mix. I think.
Why do I feel like San Francisco? I feel like San Francisco.
It kind of feels right. That team has a sort of that team has a heritage, of connectivity to Japan and so on and so forth. I really hope, and this is separate from anything that has to do with any team. I just really hope that whatever he chooses doesn't prevent him from pitching again. I hope he doesn't push it too hard and blow it out, and we never see Shohei on the mound again. That would be a real bummer. I'd rather wait longer to see him pitch again
you're right
than
about
have
that.
him come back and be mashing and playing DH just for the sake of it and never see him on the mound again.
Also, speaking of Ohtani today, his documentary comes out.
Today
on ESPN
Disney
Plus. Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Synergy, baby.
It's called the Beyond the Dream, and it's there's an article that tells you the.
I
four
gotta
parts
see that.
I know what I'm doing when I go home.
And then there's a we talk about numerology here with Taylor Swift and the whole nine.
Yeah.
But the
And
reason
Kobe Bryant, people did 24 and 8 for
the biggest numerology situation on earth right now.
Yeah, so the reason why it dropped today is because 11 is the jersey he wore in Japan, and 17 is the jersey he's wearing in the Angels.
Oh,
so it's
okay. All right.
a little
Not
fun
bad.
fact there for
I
you.
like that.
So catch Shohei Ohtani.
That's
cool.
ESPN Plus.
Did you ever see the Beckham doc?
Which
good.
No.
Okay. We spent.
Emily, have you
we
seen
spent. No, Emily, yeah.
Nope.
Emily found a way to delete it on her. She took it off of whatever
He
was
keeps
on.
showing me the trailer, and I have to X out of Netflix every time. Mr.
All right,
Hater.
hot and cold coming up next. Plus, SC UCLA. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN. All right. Don't miss the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event happening now through January 2nd. After this 16th year of sharing the love, Subaru will have donated over $285 million to charity. Visit my good friends over at Sierra Subaru of Monrovia as they are proudly supporting Foothill Unity Center and the Pavlov Foundation during the Subaru Share the Love event. Got a chance to go out to the dealership about a couple weeks ago or so and learn more about what they're doing within Foothill Unity Center. Pavlov as well, that foundation. And here's the beauty with Sierra Subaru Monrovia. Subaru has such a beautiful line of cars, but the dealership and the brand of Subaru, it's so much more than just selling cars. Literally every single month, they have different outreach events going on, and it's no different now, obviously, leading up to the holidays. Just go to SierraSubaru.com for more information, or just visit them just off the 210 and 605 freeway. That's SierraSubaru.com.
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Linz. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free! Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Sliwa, as you know, we've welcomed the new partner here at 710 ESPN, NextGen. NextGen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m.
Cause you're hot and you're cold.
Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to NextGen. Boy, time for Who's Hot? Who's Cold? Take it away, Producer M.
All right, who's hot? Thank you to California Transit. Okay, so Governor Gavin Newsom announced Thursday that the fire-damaged 10 freeway would reopen sooner than expected this coming Tuesday at the latest.
Turning it around.
So
Good
5
job.
lanes in both direction. News to
Yes.
the news conference on Thursday at the site of the fire in downtown Los Angeles. So that's amazing for the travelers over the Thanksgiving
can you
holiday.
imagine the things?
Bro.
Good job to the transit workers out there to get that done. So
Okay,
Excellent.
so we kind of did a little over-under on this because I think it was earlier in the week they said it's going to take 3 to 5 weeks. And we're all like, no, it's not going to take. If you're saying 3 to 5 weeks,
No, that
and
means
this
it's
is
never
a
getting
government
fixed.
type
Yeah.
of thing, I'm like, yeah, it ain't
No,
happening.
that had to get done. That's that's
The
that's a
under-
2-minute offense you're running right there.
Yeah, the under promise, over deliver. Good
That's a
work
good
there
move.
by the.
That's a good move.
that's almost like just barely over a week.
That's what you're
that would have be
supposed to
done.
do, by the way.
Okay, so
when it
If
comes
you have
to being,
all the force of the government behind something,
Correct.
it shows that.
I'm not coming from very far. Pasadena's not far, 12 miles away. But you hit your regular morning traffic. I usually leave around 7:30. That's not the best time to leave, but that's the time.
Is what it is.
Since the 10 freeway got shut down, no one has anywhere to go.
Yeah.
Like there's no alternative. And I think earlier in the week I tried using Waze, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go with Waze. It was such a headache and so much more stressful. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and sit on the freeway.
Right.
And
You know what
whenever
you
I
could do, Al?
exit, I exit.
You could take public transit.
Yeah. I can.
I took the train downtown the other day.
Yeah, I take the bus sometimes too. But
Jorge, I know you were feeling it too.
Are you bus it? Sorry.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, she's
Okay.
she's been.
I
doing
live a
that.
couple blocks away though. So
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
remember
she's
that.
cool.
Okay, fair enough.
But me, it's like a 2-hour drive from home.
Yeah, there's no train option.
Yeah, you
right.
can't take
I mean,
transit.
there is a train
Slee
option, but
can
I have a
take
kid.
transit.
And
Yeah,
I have
so
to drop
right,
her
it's too
off.
far. It's too
Yeah.
far. Yeah.
All right, so who's cold is going to be the Vegas F1. Okay, so last night was supposed to be the first practice for all the drivers, and they're supposed to go out there, run a couple laps, and figure out what the track feels like before essentially what it's called. It's a time trial today. The time trials are scheduled for today, where you just see where you slate in the start. All right, so what happened though was Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz was going to he was driving his car, and then he hit a manhole cover that was not welded to the ground properly, and so it popped up.
Oh, that's not good.
It damaged the car. Sparks were flying. It damaged the car a lot, and sparks were flying. They had to shut down the whole entire race. Essentially, after 9 minutes of viewing of these cars going by, people bought these tickets that were so expensive. People traveled from out of state, out of the country to come and see this event. They were told to leave the grandstands. Then they were in these like little, lounges until 2 a.m. to see if they could figure out to see the rest of the race. And they were asked to leave to go home. So essentially, they got 9 minutes for whatever they paid for their ticket. So Toto Wolff, who is the principal, so the coach of the Mercedes team, was he was asked about if this was a black eye on this event. So this is his response to that.
It's completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. FP1, how can you even dare trying to talk bad about an event that sets the new standards to everything? And then you're speaking about a drain cover that's been undone, that has happened before. That's nothing. It's FP1. Give credit to the people that have set up this Grand Prix, that have made this sport much bigger than it ever was. Have you ever spoken good about someone and written a good word? You should, about all these people that have been out here. The car is broken. That's really a shame.
Arnold?
For
I was going to say, this is an A1 villain voice.
Yeah. So between the FA and the track, and everybody needs to analyze how we can make sure that this is not happening again. But talking here about the black eye for the sport.
All
right,
we
so
get his point.
It's also he is not the car that was broken. It's not his car.
Right.
So
Okay,
it's
so
not the Ferrari.
so
car.
here's
He's
a question.
The
Here's a question I have because I don't watch F1.
And you don't know who that person is?
I have no idea who
Okay.
that
It's
is.
the grade A villain. It's
Yes.
him versus
Okay.
Horner from the Red Bull. It's
So
Genesis versus
I don't watch it, but let's just. Is this just the worst thing that could happen to F1 is what's happening in Vegas?
No, but what it is a poor an example of a very poor attempt to wedge something into an American space that the people who organize F1 truly do not understand. These idiots didn't even understand that it was going to be cold at night because it's in the middle of the desert. Sorry, it's not hot all night, too, in the desert in November. They didn't know that. Number two, they have completely reconfigured downtown Las Vegas, removing the trees at the Bellagio to the major anger of
Emptying the
Vegas
water.
residents and visitors.
What
It
about
looks
the
completely
hotel?
different.
What about the hotel you were talking about?
Yeah, somebody was telling me they had booked rooms up in the Delano Hotel.
Yeah.
They were blacked out on the windows. Like they had a black tarp or whatever, something
It's
blocking
ridiculous.
the
And you know how it is in Vegas. You can't just cross the street.
Sure.
You got to walk up the block and
Yeah.
go up an escalator and go across the
Frosted
bridge and
the-
come
Okay,
back
so this
down.
is not
they
going
built
as
like
planned.
5 more of those.
Is this done in Vegas,
It's
you think?
ridiculous.
No, it's not done.
I don't know.
It's signed up for many years to come. Okay, what's going to happen?
Something's gotta change.
It's a big pay up front. It's
Okay.
a large deal to be done up front. This is going to happen probably for 10 more years. It's going to be a lot easier after this first year. They're figuring out the kinks that are happening here. It's not
Okay.
as easy as it was in Miami to build this.
Right, but I think what you're going to have, and not that I'm some expert on Vegas local economics, but I think you're going to have a situation where that's going
It's
to be
an
one of the,
inconvenience, and other people don't want to go
It's
there.
going to be one of the worst weeks that Vegas has for people that are there
It's going
all
to
year
hurt.
round.
It's
Yeah.
going to hurt their travel
People
and
are
everything
not
else.
gonna
Or
like
it's
to
going to
be
be
there.
people coming to Vegas to watch an F1 race.
Yeah,
that are gonna
But
get
it
a lot
doesn't
more
sound
people
like
to come.
here's the thing, Em.
It might offset money-wise, but I don't think anybody in Vegas is going to enjoy that experience that much for the next 10
It doesn't sound like that's happening because also the demand for the tickets just plummeted, right?
Right, of course.
So,
But it's
see what happens
also
there.
the first year it's happening. It's
There's
so they
always
can
an
build over
overreaction.
time.
I get it. No,
I
there's
think
always
that
an
is-
overreaction.
If it was his car, he would have been like, "Oh, the roads are
Yeah,
the worst."
Right.
This is the worst thing that happened to
To
that
say it's a
van.
non-thing, I
Come
mean,
on,
you're
man.
blowing up cars with pothole covers.
Right.
Like, that's a problem, dog.
And F1's headquarters is going to be in Vegas. They have a
Oh, well, that's different.
F1
No, if
in
F1's
Vegas are
headquarters,
going to be
yeah,
interconnected for a long time.
So
I
build
think
a
it'll get
course
easier over a long
somewhere
time.
else. You know?
Okay.
You got a whole desert. Right
Exactly,
now.
right.
Come on.
But that's the whole point. They wanted it in Vegas so
Yeah.
they get the views of the strip. That's the whole
Circuit
thing.
doesn't work for me.
Who's hot and who's cold is brought to you by Next Gen. Next Gen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. You ever been to a SC UCLA matchup?
Yeah, I went last year.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
First time I went too.
By
the way-
very little buzz for this game this year.
Very little buzz. Last
They
year,
both suck.
you're right. There's nothing to play for. There literally is nothing to play for. As bluntly as she just said it, is the truth. But last year, I had an awesome time. I thought it was a cool atmosphere. I thought it was one of the better sporting events in Los Angeles that I've been to.
It was
fun. And what sucks about this situation is what's at stake? There's nothing at stake.
I think both of these schools are examples of, and I don't want this to sound like I'm knocking both schools because I'm not. This is a prism
I will. They suck.
through which I'm describing two separate situations. They are both examples of everything that's wrong with college football in different ways.
Please
UCLA
explain.
is I don't want to say a legacy school, but let's not separate those two. Bouncing from the Pac-12 is not part of this discussion. Let's be clear about that. This is the last time, theoretically, they will play as Pac-12 rivals.
Right.
As
it is.
I'm
Final year,
fairly
you're right.
certain they are both charter members of the conference back when it was even the six-pack or whatever, Pac-6. So there's that. There's that element of, I can't believe this is kind of the last time we're doing this. Number two, for whatever reason, Chip Kelly is on the hot seat. And I don't understand that. Like, what does UCLA think their ceiling and regular floor should be as far as contending for whatever you're trying to contend for? Sure, you're 500 this year or wherever they are, but they've steadily gotten better.
I think he's 33 and 33. I want to
But
say
they have improved, from my understanding, as he's gotten there. But again, you're UCLA. Look around. Half the teams that consider themselves any good are paying buyouts from 2 years ago because they overestimated what should be a reasonable expectation.
Yates, but can I say that the other way? That they are UCLA. They're one of the best colleges in the country, that they are going to go to the Big Ten, that they are in Southern California, that they should be able to generate. I don't have an answer for you, but I don't think you should also accept beating mediocre. And Chip Kelly has been not just the definition of mediocre, 33 and 33. Like, literally, the average is 33 and 33. He's 500. Wouldn't you have expected more from Chip Kelly?
Not necessarily, but I do think that this, again, tumult around the country is part of the reason why it's not as easy. The transfer portal has changed everything. NIL has changed everything. When Chip Kelly was hired, these things were not in the equation the same way.
Yeah, the world was different.
And that's what my point is here. Bro, you're just going to get somebody else now? Do you see how continuity issues will jack up your program. You know where you can look? Right down the road at USC, where they probably got one too many transfers, where it doesn't feel like this team is connected at all, where they don't play offense that helps their defense, and they lose games by draining themselves on the defensive end, and all of a sudden, they got a Heisman winner whose career has arguably been wasted. Caleb Williams is 0-3 against Utah in his career.
Yeah.
And he's got
2-7 against ranked teams.
Right. Doesn't happen. They don't win games
against
against big teams. So separately, even though, yes, as you would say, Emily, they suck, there are two separate examples of so many things that I feel that are such unfortunate outcrops of the system of college
Here's
football
the beauty.
right now.
When we do super cross-talk in a little bit, I think Bergman's out there too. You can argue with him because I think anytime UCLA plays, he says fire Chip Kelly. So you can have that argument.
I really
with
have
him.
no interest in arguing about Chip Kelly, but my only point is that
You argued for him.
I know, but there's so many schools out there where
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, what exactly do you think you're supposed to be, and who are you going to get to do it? Because the playing field literally is way more level now. And Chip Kelly is a guy that here's the reason why I think this. One of the things that Chip Kelly did when he first got here. He said, I'm immediately upping the food budget by $5 million. He understands what it takes to be an appealing player, coach to players.
To players, yep.
If anybody's going to figure it out moving forward, I think it's Chip Kelly. Lincoln Riley on the other end, 10 years, $100 million? What? Ridiculous.
Clinton feels a certain way about the two coaches in L.A.
Yep.
Very, very, very opinionated there.
Thanks.
The dump coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
It's Chris Morales.
And producer Lindsay.
Listen, Friday is the day, the Sunday Swagger Black Friday sale, and we're going to kick it off. 1 to 5:30 p.m. broadcasting live. Mason, Cappy, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and me.
And you.
We know you've been looking for Sunday Swagger on your navigation or Google Maps. They're stealth, because this sale is so big, Jack, the Black Friday sale. So, look to your left, Wins. There's the address. Put that right in your navigation system. It's off the 91 freeway, Yorba Linda Boulevard, Savvy Ranch, you know it, right next to the Costco. Party, party, oh party. Giveaways every 15 minutes. Deep discounts that you can purchase right there on site on Friday. Plus, we're going to be grilling up hot dogs, and there's going to be a chance to hang out with us. How's that not great? The Black Friday sale, Sunday Swagger on Friday.
Be there or be square.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free! Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
It's time for the dump.
Okay, first thing I want to get into here is a conversation we're having, and it's one of the stories right now that the Oakland A's, it's official.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving to Las Vegas. Question now is, what are they going to do between now and the stadium being built in Vegas? Let me first off say this, because I do have sympathy, especially, for Oakland.
Sure, as a San Diegan.
Oakland lost the Raiders. They lost the A's. And they also lost, something to keep in mind, and
the Warriors.
I know
The
it's still
Dubs.
there. The
Yeah.
Golden State Warriors are now in San Francisco. So over the course of just a couple of years, you have 3 franchises in 3 professional sports. 2 of them are gone for good. The other one is further than it was. I sympathize, and by the way, I think everybody does. I think, look back and think of how did the Seattle Supersonics not have a team? I think there's
criminal.
There's franchises that are around, and you're right. There is a San Diego connection to this, but now anytime something like this happens, it to me is the worst part of sports is when an owner can just pick up and leave and not give a flying you-know-what about the city they're leaving. I hate that part of the sports.
There's a double element to this, which is that because of their inability to get a stadium deal before getting out of town, which is, the equivalent of running away from your parents' house before you've got another apartment, they're basically sleeping on their friends' couches. And they might end up playing games in San Francisco.
Is that real?
In Petco Park.
That could really happen?
If they don't want to play in Sacramento and they don't want to play somewhere else in California, you can't just play Major League Baseball games anywhere.
How long is it? When is the new stadium supposed to be?
I should know more about this, but I'm going to learn more about this at the winter meeting. So those who care to learn more about it, you can follow me on the Bird at Clinton Yates, where I'm sure Dave Cavill will be there spinning whatever yarn that
on
he thinks that on the X thinks that he is going to make sense. But if they end up playing
X gonna give it to you.
an entire season in
2028
Oracle Park,
Las Vegas Stadium is ready in 2028.
Bro, that's many seasons away. Like, what are we doing? Multiple 12-mins.
I don't know.
Play in the Raiders Stadium.
I don't know why. They're better off doing that.
The Las Vegas Aviators play in a park that got built 2 seasons ago.
Is this the 10,000 seat?
I went.
Okay.
There's a world in which you could upscale that in order to get to something that would be manageable before you got to another stadium in Las Vegas. That would be my best guess. But that bad boy's not on the Strip. That thing is basically the equivalent of where the Rose Bowl is compared to downtown L.A. So I've been to that park. It's a nice park.
Yeah.
It's a lovely place. Lovely desert evening. You can watch a ball game out there. They got a nice little setup out in right field, sort of like a party deck. It's really cool. But, I mean, to think that you jumped out of Oakland because of all of the issues you had with the city and all this other stuff, and this was the plan, that's embarrassing for everybody involved from the front office. Never mind the decision to leave town.
Yeah, not a good look. NBA yesterday suspended Draymond Green for 5 games. Is what it is. Altercation with Rudy Gobert. I just thought it was funny because right after the game, Steve Kerr was asked about the situation, and Steve Kerr, I get what Steve Kerr was trying to say. But what Kerr was trying to say is, you shouldn't have one player from one team shouldn't touch another player from another team. Gobert, go get your guy. Don't touch Klay Thompson. But he also made it sound like Gobert wrapped his arms around Klay Thompson and that if Draymond didn't come in and save the day, what would have happened to Klay Thompson? Yesterday, he was asked about it after getting some time to look at it, and he's like, yeah, that's a bad look. I think he should have got 5 games. I think he held him for 6 or 7 seconds. It's bad for the league. It's bad for us. It's bad for Draymond. He kind of really ripped into him from there.
I said that the bottom line for Dre at this point is not even about who Draymond is necessarily. It's about the fact that this is ineffective for the Warriors. You are no longer the guy that is getting under people's skin. You are the one losing the psychological battle, and it is losing you basketball games. Whatever that edge was that he had, I don't think is there in the same way that it was, let's just say, 5 seasons ago.
Well, I'll say, and someone who loves the NBA, he's had so much value to that team. I think
had is the key word.
But you can even say they won a championship 1 season ago. So that it's not like we're talking 3-4 years ago, right? They didn't win it last year, but the year before.
Would you have given him that extension with that much money?
Yeah, I think if they're thinking to keep what they have going, Clay's now the question, which they have not given him an extension.
Right.
But Draymond, I'm with you on there comes a point where you're asking yourself the question with Draymond is, are you learning from anything or is that it? Like,
right.
is this just going to be?
Is this the whole game?
Steph's already out. And now you're out for 5 games. And, oh, by the way, they're not playing good basketball. I want to see where they're sitting here. 6-7. They've lost 5 in a row.
I was texting with Pepe about this yesterday, and he said 10 games, because I said that on Around the Horn. He said 10 games is insane. And I was like, listen, do you think it's only going to – how many games do you think Draymond is going to end up suspended for this season total? You think it's going to be 10? Pretty good shot.
You already got 5.
Already got 5?
Did we have anything before that?
No, dude. Do we think?
I'll take 10.
Right. And
I'll
so
take 10.
what I'm saying is that's the reason I'm going 10. It's 10 and this never happens again.
Yeah.
Not 5 and, okay, keep it together. 10 and if it happens again, you're out of here, buddy. That's why I would have gone for 10.
Okay, we got to get to Super Crosstalk before we do. Danny DeVito, 70. That's our guy. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
All right, Al.
Arguably
the trash
twins,
man.
baby, twins.
Arguably
Trash man. I like trash.
I like them in twins.
The dude is hilarious.
I'm headed out. It was good to see you, brother.
Yates, thank you, brother.
Always.
Let's do some Super Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Where did Yates go? Why is Yates leaving us? I wanted to talk to Clinton.
Bailing on
Yates is a busy man, guys.
Yeah.
He's got stuff to do.
He's got stuff to do.
Say hi. What? Clinton, why are you leaving us?
Yeah.
By the way,
you really wanted to talk to Clinton?
I did. I wanted to say hi to Clinton.
No, Clinton talked a lot. I'm good.
Berg, he did make his case that any UCLA fan that wants to get rid of Chip Kelly, it makes no sense. I said, just read Berg's tweets.
Yeah, he's furious.
He's.
Wait, hold on. You're
This
a little
is
loud,
nonsense.
Mason. Is Mason a little loud? Which number are you on this mixer?
Let's see. My mixer
on 4.
number.
He's on 4.
Spin the wheel of mixer numbers.
By the way,
what am I? 4.
4. Slee, we have 1 Comrex unit and 5 microphones.
But this is
attached
Cappy's
into
old
it.
1090 equipment. You probably touched this equipment before.
This is
Slee?
great. How close are you guys? I mean, is everything like you guys are almost sharing a mic?
Yeah, basically everybody's sharing a
This
mic
is
for
what-
all intents and
when
purposes.
Cappy
We got
and
a small card table in the corner of the Sunday Swagger headquarters where there's unbelievable merchandise everywhere. Cappy's here, Morales is here, Bergman's here, Lindsay Baseball is going to be here. But we are on a card table in the corner of the room.
That's good.
Here's the thing. When
That's a good
Cappy
picture.
and I pull up, and Cappy's got about, what would you say? He's 500 feet of his own cable, right?
Mm-hmm.
He brings his own cable when we plug in.
I didn't believe you at first, but he literally has a spool of cable that's about 500 feet worth.
spool of
It is-
cable?
It's a spool. I don't know
Cappy's
what else.
spool.
I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
It's legitimately a spool.
Do you ever see those like engineers that have?
Can
We're
you go
using
grab
it, I
it?
think, right?
You ever see those engineers that have like the extension cords like wrapped around their arm and their elbow?
Yes.
Cap is just walking around. He's giving himself more length there as he goes. Okay, so how's it look out there? What's going on out
Well,
there?
it looks great. I mean, we just settled in. I see a bunch of Sunday Swagger merch. He did bring a spool.
Did I say it wrong?
He
This
did
is a
bring a
spool
spool.
of cable. Here,
Cappy,
there
are you
you
going to
go,
come
Cappy.
into this, or what are you doing?
Yeah, no, Cappy come in.
Because
every once in a while.
Ireland's not here today. He's not going to complain of too many voices.
Yeah. No, it's combo play today, so Cappy's here. Everybody's here. Slee, what were you I'll tell you what. Here's what kind of irritated me today, Slee.
Perfect. Yep.
You said the USC-UCLA game is for nothing.
Yes.
What is it for?
Yes.
It is for pride in this city.
It is?
Have we really reached
No.
zero-sum
Wait,
game
wait,
where it's
Mace.
either national championship or your season sucks?
Okay, wait, Mace. Let me set this up because last year you were nice enough to give myself a ticket to come to SC UCLA at the Rose Bowl. Lindsay was there as well.
Yep.
And I was like, man, this is one of the coolest sporting events that I've ever been to in LA. I loved it. I loved the vibe. There was still some stuff to play for. SC was trying to get to the Pac-12 championship. UCLA was incredibly competitive. The game was awesome. It was great.
Yeah,
I don't have any of that sell this year.
We have to live in a world where just because you're out of the championship game doesn't mean everything is meaningless.
I think every season is different, and this season for UCLA specific is terrible. For USC, it means
it's a complete disappointment.
There's no pride
Here's
in this game.
the cherry. Of course there's pride in this game.
No, there's
not a Trojan in town that wants to lose to the Bruins. And there's not a Bruin in town who's not pissed off if they lose to USC.
We think we're going to lose. It's the worst offense in the history of UCLA sports. If they score 14 points against that awful defense,
Tallenberg.
We'll
be shocked.
Look,
we'll be shocked.
Right, and you think it's meaningless.
It is.
It's absolutely.
Nobody's going to look back on the.
You got to get on the mic, right?
Wait a minute.
Nobody's going to look back on the annals of these of this rivalry.
UCLA game is a thing.
Mace.
This is small market equipment. You got to get right on it.
All right, so look. Nobody's going to look back on this game and say the 2023 UCLA USC game meant absolutely anything.
Mace, this is why it means nothing. It's
rack.
Go ahead.
It's not that SC and UCLA game doesn't mean anything. It's the fact that it's the final game of the year, and literally the two schools have nothing to play for. If I'd have told you that SC was going to get to the final game of the year and they got no shot of making it to the Pac-12 championship, forget the college football playoff. Put that to the side. I know only 4 teams get in. That will eventually change. But you would say, yeah, that season didn't go well. What do you mean they're 2-7 in against ranked opponents since Lincoln Riley has been there, and this year they've obviously been awful? I think for those reasons it doesn't mean anything. I understand the SC-UCLA part, but nobody from both of these schools are happy of their predicament.
You were there last year, and you saw there was a lot of pageantry at the game. There was they wear their home colors. The crowds are totally decked out. It was a great crowd last year at the Rose Bowl. I forget. What were we playing for? The right to play Tulane? Is that what we were playing for?
No, we were in the Pac-12 championship.
That was for the
Pac-12
championship.
To go to Utah?
Yes.
But
you played
in your world, the Pac-12 championship doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Pac-12 championship means a lot.
No. You're misconstruing what I said. USC should be fighting for the national championship picture every single year.
But you got to kick UCLA's ass on Saturday.
You're probably going to, because this offense is absolutely horrendous.
And that will make me happy.
But it would be much more like if UCLA was 2-10 this year,
right?
And USC was fighting for a spot into the Pac-12 championship, right? It would mean something.
Well, not every game has the same stakes as every other game. It's still, you've got to celebrate a win over your arch rival.
If UCLA won, I will absolutely be ecstatic on Monday.
But it doesn't
don't
mean
expect
anything.
it.
Why would you be ecstatic?
Because
it doesn't mean anything.
Why
get ecstatic?
Somehow this terrible offense found a way to beat you.
Why would you even get ecstatic?
How long are you going to? You barely ever disagree with Ireland. You just go, yeah. And now when you see Greg, it's like jaws in the water.
He's full of crap.
I'm
Greg,
right.
Greg, I had a chance to listen to both sides.
People here at Sunday Swagger are scared about
it. They are a little frightened. Yes.
Greg, I had a chance to listen to both sides.
It's a feel-good Friday, guys.
I can't hear Slee. Let me hear Slee.
This is only the beginning of the show.
I want to hear Sliwa. What are you saying?
Hold on, Slee. You thought.
No. Hold on, Ralph. I want to hear what Slee's saying.
You thought you saw Cap mount me at the hotel last night on Instagram?
Yep.
Mace is going to be mounting Greg all afternoon.
No, here we go.
Go ahead, Slee.
All right, Mace, I need your help. Your help. Survivor pool.
Okay.
Wait,
you're still alive. Juan's still alive also.
I can't hear you.
Did he make his pick yet? Do you know?
He has not, although the lean is to Detroit.
Okay, so we're both. I still have Detroit left too. I think it's the biggest spread on the board against Chicago. I could go Jacksonville, Tennessee. I think I'm just going to go Detroit.
Yeah, we're leaning Detroit. We're going with the biggest point spread on the board.
Hit the super stage.
Okay, hit the super stage.
We already did that.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to break these up. I like that you just followed me. You came out of the super stage. I didn't know.
I don't know. I mean,
Slee sent us here in the super stage.
I got all worked up in a conversation with Bergman, and now I lost my place.
And by the way,
show.
you get upset with him not saying anything in Ireland. This is what our pre-show meetings sound like all the time.
You should put a mic in there.
That's why I avoid them.
That's why I walk in pissed off every day.
Okay, can everybody? So is it like one of those you're passing the controller over and only one person, a couple of people can hear at the same time?
Well, you can see it on YouTube. We're streaming live. Right?
Okay,
we all have our own microphones.
Because Emily has got a little game for us that we were doing earlier.
Is this her tweet or Travis Kelce's tweet?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I like this.
Okay, set it up, Em, of what's going on. Yep.
All right, so Travis Kelce had the Swift BI come after him, and people were going through his old tweets, and they found out only himbo things about him, only that he is just like an adorable himbo that loves things. You can put a sound, Brian, by the way. And so this is the I'm going to read out tweets, and you have to say whether it's my tweet from back in 2010 or it's Travis Kelce's tweet, okay?
Okay.
You guys get it?
Ready.
All right. It's such a nice day out as I stare from my math class, ... SMH, hashtag must be nice. All right, so Mace, who do you think that is?
2010. I'm going to say that's you, Em.
Okay. Morales?
I like you on this one, too.
Okay. Berg?
There's no way Travis Kelce was in a math class. So it's you.
All right, Al?
I'm just going to try to see if I can steal one here. I'll go Kelce on this one.
It is Travis
That's
Kelce.
what I'm talking about.
That
Wow.
said that.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Okay, I'm going to do one. So, really, what's the point in going to school for 2 days in a week with a bunch of exclamation points and question marks? We don't do anything! Exclamation point. All right, who do you think that is? Al, you start.
I think that's got to be Kelce because that sounds like a really, really talented football player that only has to go to school 2 days a week. I'll go Kelce.
All right, Mace.
I am going to say that is Travis Kelce.
All right, Morales.
I'm going to go M.
And Berg.
This is 100% Emily.
I
can hear
me.
it.
It is.
Oh, wow.
I heard your voice in the tweet.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to do one more for you guys.
Okay.
IHOP, I love coming here for breakfast. I think I'll have a T-bone steak and eggs, please. Haha, with some white toast on the side. All right, Morales, who do you think that is?
That's Kelce, because you would go like pancakes with like cereal on top. I think. Like one of those
Pancakes
exotic
and
items.
cereal?
They got.
Pancakes and cereal. Yeah.
All right, Berg.
Don't start, Slee.
Pancakes.
Not in the mood today.
Pancakes and cereal.
I'm liking Kelce on this one too.
Okay, Mace.
I'm going Kelce on this.
And Al.
I'm going to play the same way I did last. I'll go M.
That is Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce.
And the best part of this is that everyone's all these like old places are like quote tweeting him and using it as free ads for them that Travis could come to those places.
Okay, Chris, can we get a play-by-play of what happened last night? You sharing a hotel room with Cappy. Can we just, I don't know,
So
take us
as you
behind
guys
the
know,
scenes?
my rib has been out of alignment all week.
Yep.
And I haven't been able to
Ribs?
go home.
Yep.
Because I've just been stuck there and I didn't pack enough. So there's a whole thing about behind that. I had to get new underpants at Target. And, so anyway. Underpants. So then I told Cappy, he arrived a little bit later after producer Lindsay and I did. I said, you got to get up to the hotel room with me, Jack, and you got to get me back in alignment. And then, of course, Lindsay recorded it, and that became our first ever documented, I do say documented, hotel mount.
That's
where
right.
Cappy mounted me and got me back in alignment. Cappy, for some reason, is not right here broadcasting with us, but playing the video for me.
Yeah, he's showing us the video.
I remember the mount. I was there, and it felt good.
He's not ready to join in on this yet, just yet.
So is he cracking your back? Is that what he's doing?
He's performing chiropractics. He handles all my major chiropractic work.
Does he have any training?
He does
You don't
not.
need
I don't
training.
think he has
Yes,
any
you
training.
do need
Yeah.
training. I think people go to
He's
school
got
for
two
a
cousins
long
that-
time to
How
be
long?
backpackers.
How
I
long
don't
do
think
you
they
think
go
a
that long.
chiropractor goes to school
They're
to
not
become a
adults.
chiropractor?
I
It's
think
like
multiple
30
years.
days. It's like a 30-day program.
No. Look,
You
I'm
learn
not
a
a big
few things on the back.
chiropractics guy, but no, they study for a long time.
Mace,
Was it a long time, 6 months?
I believe Cap Googled what he needed to do right before, so I think he's good to go. I think the more important question, Chris, is how the ribs now.
I'm back. Well, again, so here's the other thing. Part of why I keep getting out of alignment, other than being a little huskier than I need to be, I sleep funky. So I can align myself while I go to bed, and then I end up with pillows between things, upside down. Anyway, So Cappy, we then went to the concert last night, Jefferson Starship, which was incredible, and then Grand Funk Railroad. They really were incredible.
Oh,
on
that's
stage.
nice. That's a good concert.
We built this.
Yeah,
they
it was
did.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So Cappy goes, I'm exhausted. So he left us, producer Lindsay and I, and then Beto Duran had to go somewhere. He was chasing some heat, I think.
Oh, okay.
So to speak.
Yep.
So then Lindsay and I stayed for the concert. Then she did some gambling. I watched. So Cappy had the hotel room for an hour and a half. And I was like, listen, am I going to wake you? I need to shower. I slept under a desk the night before. He's like, no, it's fine. I walk in. I've never heard somebody be so silent while they slept. I walked by him. I pulled out luggage. He didn't make a sound.
Wow.
He doesn't snore. He doesn't even breathe, I don't think. So then I thought, is this the moment I just jump on him and mount him back? But I didn't. I waited till the morning.
You should wait till they're awake.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Mace,
It's a good rule to follow.
Mace,
By the way, chiropractor, you got to get a bachelor's degree, then 4 more years.
I don't believe that in the slightest.
Sweet, I got a photo coming up on social in about 30 minutes
Yep.
of Cappy and I from this morning.
Okay.
Because then we realized we had some time. We went down to the spa together.
Bedhead?
There was bedhead and other stuff. We drank coffee together.
Oh, be careful.
Oh, very nice.
You
Yeah,
guys
very
are
nice.
like
What did I say?
Nothing.
This ain't the Mason and Ireland show. This is 710 combo play. You don't have a dump button today, do you, Jack?
Don't need one. If somebody goes down, we're all going down.
So to speak.
Mace, is there a price that it would take for you to spend a couple nights with Morales in a room?
Yeah, there's a price. It is so high, no one would ever pay it.
I think I was talking to Sedano this morning. Of course, he called just to check in and see what was going on.
See what was going on. Check in.
I think I could definitely, if we were in the situation that we were in last night, Sedano would share a room with me. Slee would share a room with me.
I'm not sure about that.
Travis would share a room with me.
Travis would.
John would share a room with me.
No, he would not.
Yes, he would.
I don't think Trav would.
Listen,
I don't think Trav would.
Zero
if he
chance.
thought there could be an interesting situation,
he is not bunking with you.
Yeah, he's not going to. I agree.
If he could watch
I hear
things,
you, Slee. Don't worry.
If he could watch things, I think he'd be in.
Yeah.
If there were other people, I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
And
there was a crowd.
I think you would do it for the bit. I do believe that.
You believe I would do it for the bit?
If you thought you could win bit of the year? Like
I'm withdrawing all consideration.
No, you're not. We're holding you to November 30th. You're
withdrawing.
eating that 22-inch mega dog.
It's impossible. I saw that hot dog. I didn't realize the hot dog.
Steve Mason never backs down from a bit.
Shut up.
You said it, not me. It was on the radio.
Oh,
you
fine.
heard it.
I'll try it. There's no friggin' way you can.
How about this? How about
do
this
it.
for a bit of the year?
Yeah.
You try to get John fired like you did last time. You try to do it again. I won't fight you on that.
Oh, you won't?
No.
Wait a minute. I thought you and John are super tight.
We are, but
I would never do that to John.
For the bit.
I would never do that to John again.
Would you tell him a minute ahead of time this time?
I would tell him. I tell him before the last segment, instead of right when we close the microphones and say, "Have a great weekend."
You're getting fired.
You're getting fired.
You'll hear Slee tonight. The Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off is at 5:30 p.m. We've got in-season tournament action.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You excited?
Oh, yeah.
I am excited.
What's
Tonight,
the Blazers court going to look like tonight?
It'll be. I don't know.
A lot of red.
Have you seen it yet?
I think they had one already. I think it was. I think it was a lot of red. I think they've already had one in season there, so I'd have to go back and look.
Are you liking not doing the halftime and the post game now, Slee? Have you adjusted?
Red says Rip City.
Rip City.
It's a nice court.
Beautiful. It's an adjustment. I'll tell you that. It's a little bit of an adjustment, but there are. I mean, last game I'll use as an example. I left right after pre. I ran into Morales. I ran into Greg. They're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I think I'm done for the day." So that was kind of nice.
Through the rain. He was
that
running
was
through the
kind of
rain.
nice.
It was a rainy night.
You love a rainy.
Getting used to it.
We are at Sunday Swagger, the headquarters in Yorba Linda. We're going to be here till 5:30. Now, here's the thing. It is the Black Friday sale here. They are beginning it. Deep discounts, Slee.
Yeah.
So deep, you could take care of your entire holiday shopping today. And that's what you got to do. You could walk the warehouse. I believe, let's see what Gary says. Cappy and I are grilling hot dogs later, right? Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Okay, good.
Cappy, get ready. We're going to be sharing that meat.
Bacon wrap dogs.
Ooh, bacon wrap.
Very nice.
You ordered a double smoked bacon sandwich for breakfast this morning.
Ordered pizza.
Yep.
We cannot hear that.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay. Pizza,
It's okay.
Sandwiches.
It doesn't
no,
matter.
He
Okay,
doesn't
it's
even
Friday.
need a microphone.
We're gonna throw it over to you guys. Super Crosstalk is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger is all about. Stay tuned in. The show is live from Sunday.